Hello and welcome to the Weekly Scroll Podcast. My name is Ryan.
And I'm Iggy Pop's scraggly beard.
And I am Adam Vass of World Champ Game Co.
And today we are doing something very special. Again, obviously, if Adam is here, it is very special. We are playing No Future, part of their Trick or Treat suite. Let me actually pull it up this time. Bam! What
Beautiful.
is No Future, Adam?
No Future is a hardcore horror show, time loop, hardcore mess. It's Groundhog's Day meets Green Room. We're going to be at a hardcore show that is a benefit memorial for yet another hardcore show that went horribly awry. The spiritual sequel to the Mosh Macabre story from Campfire, another game by myself and Will Yobst that came out a couple years ago. This one is, taking place at a benefit show for the people who were killed at the last one. And naturally, people will be killed at this one as well. It's up to you two to figure out how to break the time loop and get out of it, but you're going to die a whole lot of times before you do that.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm stoked.
Yeah, I think people can tell from the amount of space underneath our body count tag here. I'm excited. I'm excited to die a lot. We've died a couple times on stream, and I'm psyched to die again a lot on stream.
This game is carved in Brindlewood, which means it's a derivative of the Brindlewood Bay RPG. So in that, there's no set solution to how to get out of the time loop. You all are just going to collect clues and figure it out on your own, which I'm really excited for, because my biggest challenge with designing a time loop game was having time travel in a game. How do you mechanize it? And Brindlewood Bay gives me the excuse to say, fucking you do it. You figure it out.
That's awesome. I'm excited for that. I haven't actually got a chance to sit down and go through any of the Brindlewood Bay stuff. So I'm stoked to play a game, carved from Brindlewood.
Me too. I think there's a lot of really cool design going on in that space, but this will be my first time GMing one, so let's go.
Yeah. All right. So then, let's fucking go. Let's do this thing. Let's die a whole lot in game. So kick us off. What are we doing?
Cool. So we're using the character keeper that was designed by Chloe Sobel, which is really great. We were just tinkering with it before going live, and the way it interacts with itself is really great and fascinating. So we're going to the setup tab on that, where we are going to sort of start building our scenario and our setting. On this page also is our lines and veils, so that you all and I can put stuff in there as we go, or in advance, to make sure that we're not trudging on any extra nasty territory, even though this is a horror game and we want to get sort of nasty. We want to get nasty in the right ways. The first thing on this list is what the hell happened last year. I mentioned that tonight is a benefit show for the year prior, the hardcore show that ended in disaster. Since we haven't played Mosh Macabre together, we're just going to pick random ones from the drop down. Some of these can be true. These are rumors that we heard about happening last year. So they can be true, they can be false, they can be contradictory. They could come up tonight at the show, or they could be pretty irrelevant. So I'll let the two of you each pick one, and I'll pick a third one since we only have two players and we want to have a solid foundation here.
Ooh. I really like a local band played in the cult hymn that melted the minds of everyone there.
So, I'm down for that. Oh yeah. How about let's go with the ashes of the venue are getting sold around town as a powerful hallucinogen.
Love it. I feel like
Makes sense.
you all know that when I make stuff, it's me turned up too far. I feel like the sentence you just said is that it's obscene.
I mean, I think it's just far enough.
And I'm gonna pick for mine. The venue is built on top of an ancient reliquary.
Dope.
So those are all rumors about last year's show. Now we're talking about today's show. The next thing is we're gonna pick a venue. There's a drop down menu here as well, and then we can kind of elaborate on it. So, actually, I think if it's cool with you, I'll just pick. I want to do just from my own DIY show experience, a rented space, and
Cool.
I think specifically we'll do like an American Legion Hall. I think
The VFW option's so funny because dude, I've been to so many hardcore shows at the VFW.
Yeah, I actually don't know what an American Legion is, except it's kind of the same. It's a American Legion of Veterans Association.
Makes sense.
So it's effectively the same as a VFW. Yeah. So we can use those interchangeably. But like you said, like I've been to so many shows in VFWs and Legion halls, and they're always you're just not supposed to be there. Like it's not for you. It always feels weird, and something bad always happens. So we can elaborate on that as we go, the sort of layout of the building and our access to it and what's going on there. But for now, we are going to a show at the American Legion. Lastly, on the setup page is what the hell are we? This is the distinction between being a member of the band that's playing the show or simply people who are coming to attend the show. And I think we decided before that we're going to be showgoers.
Yeah.
So we can put that in the drop down. It like gives us a little flavor. It says your group hangs out and does dumb shit together, including, importantly, going to hardcore shows. What do people call your gang? It might just be the two of you. You might have a larger gang that maybe some people aren't here, or they maybe will show up at the show. That's sort of your prerogative. So what do you think? What's your name of your... And gang is like a very loose term here, just like your group of friends.
Group of friends.
It's those guys from North Texas.
Those guys.
Gosh, we're the sharks. No,
I put that in, but I didn't know if that was serious or not.
Are we those guys? Is that what it is?
I feel like those guys from like whatever area, wherever this takes place around the area, like some suburb, you know, like this is like a DIY show, so you get kids coming in from like other suburbs or
always,
whatever. Yeah.
You know what's funny is we're both from Texas, but we don't live in Texas anymore.
It's incredibly funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, those guys from the east side or something, you know.
Yeah, I like that. Sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
No, yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Oh, I think if those guys from North Texas is fine by me. If you want to say more ambiguous, I guess like those guys from the east side, it works too.
Yeah, I think that's better. I think ambiguous is better.
Yeah, we don't like maybe this is in Texas, maybe not. I feel like we don't really know anyway. We're not going to be outside of the venue very much. So this show kind of just happens in an American Legion Hall in America. So that said, now both of you have little tabs at the bottom for your characters. You're going to come up with a name and pronouns. There's drop downs for names that are like suggested names from like punk and hardcore history. You'll also choose a style, which is just, there's no mechanical influence there, just like what you dress like, what you visually evoke, I guess. While you fill out that, I will just also sort of narrate that your special moves are sort of populated. Your first special move comes from being a showgoer instead of being a member of the band, and that special move is fuck around. When you break the established courtesies of going to a show, you roll plus volume, and then you get a pick list of options that happen afterwards. The second special move is you choose from the drop down of one of four options that are, again, sort of targeted at people who are at a show rather than performing the show. Next, you'll also get one signature item. You see, you have like 5 slots for items, but you start with one, and you'll just always have that. And you also have your 4 stats. This differs from Brindlewood Bay a little. You usually have 3, but I really wanted to evoke the knobs of a distortion pedal here. So we have gain, which is like your physical strength, tone, which is finesse and dexterity, bass, which is sort of your ability to keep it cool, and volume, which is your social stat. Each of you are going to get a +1 to one of your choosing and a -1 to one of your choosing. Let's see. Distortions is a thing that will come up during play. I'll just like skip that for now. But if they're effectively like momentary moves that you only do those scenes when you're told to, so I don't need to front load them. And then you have a spot for up to 5 conditions, which you'll be collecting and will be harming you over the course of the story. There's a move to clear conditions, which is called Look Back and Laugh. As you're continuing to like wrap up your character creation, I'll just kind of again go over for the audience. There's a very short list of moves. There's 6 moves, and one of them we're not using because it's when you're playing with a soundtrack. There are 3 moves that are built around the time loop itself, so those are going to be happening, recurring a lot. And then there are 2 moves that are sort of momentary, which are confronting a challenge and describing how things are fucked up, which is like sort of sharing a little bit of this GM control amongst the players and letting you sort of amplify how weird everything is from your own perspective. Hunter, are you done with your character?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought you got a little bit of a head start. And Ryan, how's yours coming?
I'm getting there. I think I'm just on my special move, and then I'm good to go.
Cool. Hunter, it looks like you need a +1 to one stat and a -1 to another stat.
Oh, I have a -1 to base.
Then I'm on the wrong sheet. Ryan needs to do that then.
Oh yeah, that's me. I maybe. Oh no, there it is. Okay. +1, -1, +1, +1, +1, -1. Let's go. What did you go, Hunter? I picked Meadowhead like you because we're both in the same gang, but a different item.
I put a +1 in gain and then a -1 into base. I just figured this guy's gonna be a big, stupid metalhead. And it's 100% no way based on anyone I know at all. So
Okay, so you're in gain, you went up and you went down, and what did you go down again in?
base, like the ability to think under pressure.
So you're super
plan.
strong and yeah, got it. Okay, so when you need finesse, right? So I'm gonna go up 1 in tone then, because we will work well off each other, and then I'll go. I'm gonna go.
These probably will fluctuate too. So
dope. Okay, well, I'm gonna go down in base too. So like you'll be strong and dumb, and I'll be fast and dumb.
Okay, cool.
And that makes sense to me.
Everyone from the east side of town's pretty dumb. So.
Yeah. And then special. What special did you go with?
Henry Rollings. Once per loop, you can just take out a cop. Oh wait, no, that's not the one I picked. Sorry, it is Dave Dictor. That's the once per loop. If a cop shows up, you can just take it out without rolling. Because.
Yeah, Dave Dictor is the vocalist of MDC.
Yeah.
So that was a necessary inclusion for sure.
I'm not gonna lie, this was not my genre growing up, though it was clearly your guys' genre, so I did have to Google 1 or 2 of these people, and made a new playlist for myself.
Hey man, that's good.
Like,
Yeah,
I did
that's
not
cool.
know who Dave Dictor is.
I honestly wouldn't know him by name. I I knew MDC, but I had to look up like a person's name to make that ability because I really wanted it in the game.
Gotcha. Oh, or Milo Ackerman. Did not know that. I know Suzu though, and Steve Nicks and Stevie Nicks. Okay, I'm gonna go with Oh, I put a minus in base, so I don't want to go Rollins. Your scars. Describe a past injury for +1 gain. When you would use beer, cigarettes in an effort to. I'm gonna go Iggy Pop. Let's go Iggy Pop. So
Nice.
my scars show how I've been through it all by now. Describe a past injury for +1 gain before rolling a move. Okay.
Cool. In that case, I'm just gonna check real quick, but I think we are good to dive in. As I mentioned, we'll get into distortions as they arise. But otherwise, yeah, we're ready to go. The first thing that happens in this game and a bunch of other times because we're going through a time loop is the doors move. So this is doors open at the show. Lexi P is running the door. She's the one who books all these shows at the American Legion. She somehow hasn't been banned from renting the space despite everything that has been broken here under her watch. She has these bright blue Liberty spikes that she has to like duck under the door frame to get in and out of every room. And she's standing there with just like the little metal cash box and like a stamp to stamp people. And what are you doing as you show up for the show?
I feel like I'm catching up with like people I know from around like town, like that I see at other shows. I'm like saying, hey, we're talking about, the scene, people, drama, music.
Yeah, I think it's like any kind of local or DIY show where doors are open, but there's not a band playing right now. So there's just a congregation of like 30 people smoking cigarettes out front.
Yeah.
Who's your friend that you're chatting with like at the start?
Oh, my friend I'm chatting with. I'm just chatting with my buddy Blake, he goes play peg leg. He's got one like prosthetic leg. And he's like a real like small lean pit guy, who goes in and you're like, that guy is like 5'2" and just could beat the life out of anybody. That guy.
I also neglected to ask, but Hunter, what's your character's name?
Oh, my character's name is Marsh.
And what pronouns do you use?
He, him.
And Ryan, what about your character?
My character is Johnny, and they also use he, him.
Cool. As Marsh is hanging out with Pegleg Blake out front, what are you doing?
I feel like I'm late. I feel like I am arriving like just as like people like started to like filter back in, unless there's things going on a lot before the show. But like I feel like I see Marsh like turning to go back in, and I'm just kind of like jogging down, like clunking on my docks, like chasing after him.
Cool. As you are like, yeah, the first sort of feedback of guitars ringing out, first band of the night is about to start playing. What band is opening tonight?
The John Bonet is opening tonight.
You hear their like, yeah, the guitar feedback start. People are rifling through. Lexi's like trying to bottleneck people, make sure that they got their stamp, that they paid their $5. And everyone pretty much is in. Johnny, you're running in. Lexi stops you to get the $5 to pay the touring bands before you get further in. Yeah, do you do anything? You just kind of like throw a $5 at her and run in?
I literally wad up and throw a $5 at her and just like run past her.
She knows you and she knows you're good for it, so like doesn't really care and kind of laughs, but also is that little bit of dejected feeling of having money thrown at you, which, despite being money, always feels kind of bad. And right as the Jean Bonnet hits their first guitar chord of the night, you die. Both of you describe, I guess, like how you're instantaneously just wiped the second the music starts. It doesn't have to be the same way either. You can die separately or together, or however crassly you would like.
So, like a few shows ago, I like got in the face of this crowd killer guy because he hit a girl. I'm like old school metal guy with a Bible in his pocket. So I'm like, that's fucking wrong, bro. And he like sucker punched me right as the music started, and it just hit me just right to I hit the ground and I died.
Yeah. Cool. So as I'm running past what's the door girl's name again? I feel like Lexi. I need to write this down. Lexi. As I'm running past Lexi, I throw her the $5 and I clunk down like one weird step that shouldn't probably be there at a VFW, and just miss my footing, fall down, and there's like an edge, like maybe like there's bars and stuff at the VFW, and I just hit a weird spot, like just clumsily fall down the stairs in my boots inside a jacket, bang my head on the corner, and just bleed out there on the floor.
Love it.
Didn't even get in the fucking show.
As like the guitar feedback turns to just sort of the ringing in your ears, and the dimly lit rental hall turns to black, you sort of just feel the darkness fade back into light. And Marsh, you are outside hanging out with Blake again. Johnny, you are parking your car or I just assumed that you drove, but I actually don't know how you got to the show. You are arriving to the American Legion Hall, and both of you are aware and have like the profound memory that you both just died and ate shit inside the show. As we repeat the doors move over and over through play, it has you sort of converse and like figure out together like what the fuck is going on. And as we continue to do that, you'll like in theory learn more about your circumstance, and then you'll be like rolling dice and shit. But just the first time you die, you just die. Like this is just the setup of our evening. So
cool.
Yeah.
Good times. So for those watching, we do have a tally. To our right, we have a body count tally. I guess my question is, how do we feel like doing that? Is it one for each reset basically, or should we do two tallies for each body, or like what?
My opinion is one for each of you, because we're also going to be counting NPC deaths in the body count.
Dope. Okay.
Assuming that those are going to be happening quite a lot as well.
All right. I hope I had enough tally set up, and then also give me 1 second. And what I'm going to do is throw our names on here with our characters. But you don't need to wait for me for that. The stream can wait for that. So let me throw up a second tally. Boom. All right. 2 dead already.
We did it.
Let's do this.
The night is young, and so are we.
Yeah, so Marsh is pretty like, he's like, so I assume like I snap back in the middle of a conversation that I was having, right? Like almost I have the most intense, like beyond deja vu experience. I'm just like,
we've seen all the happy death days and everything. Like, and
I'm like, hey man, I'll catch you inside. Like, I don't know what's going on. And I just like kind of walk onto like, there's like past the smoke, like where everyone's staying smoking, but the same like area, there's like the pavement and it's right outside and everyone's out there for some reason, even though it's kind of cold or whatever. And do I see Johnny like coming in with any expression on his face, or is he like, Johnny,
you tell me, Johnny, because you know that you just died, and this exterior, this shot of everyone you know at the show hanging out outside. They're like the show's about to start again, and yes, you're having that deja vu, but you also remember like the physical sensation, the visual, emotional sensation of just leaving the mortal coil in the VFW. So yeah, how do you approach Marsh?
I don't run up this time. I kind of like, and did everyone kind of went in, and now like Johnny's actually staying out this time?
So yeah, let's say the feedback is starting, the people are rifling in. It's kind of that scene that you remember, but the two of you are lingering outside right now.
Oh, hey.
I'm like hand against a wall right now, like just like, you know.
You are you okay?
I don't know, man. I could have sworn. I don't know, man.
Yeah. 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 It's okay. And I reach in my pocket.
What's wrong with you?
I'm nothing, bro. Like, I'm good. Let's go. We've got let's go. All right. And I pull like the $5 out of my pocket, and I like make like don't wad it up, and I like, hey Lex, and I just like hand it to her.
Cool. She like gives you the like sarcastic smirk, takes the 5, gives you your stamp, and the two of you can head into the show. The band is like just starting.
I very carefully, like, just not. I don't even step on the step. I skip the entire step very slowly as I step in, and like the opposite side of the bar that I hit my head on, I step down actually into the concert hall and just go, all right. And I take a breath and I just like let it go. Like, all right, bad weed, we're good.
I stay in the back of the room too. I don't like enter the crowd and get like up close like I did last time, you know? Like, you know, you stand like this, and you're like, yeah, I'm way in the back now. I'm like kind of looking around.
From where you are, you can still see Napalm, who's the crowd killer, who's always at every show and just acting a fucking mess.
Napalm,
you see him just opening the pit and like knocking people on the tops of their heads, like just it's starting at 11, you know, like it's it's the first band of the night, but it does not matter. Like, this is as energetic as any moment tonight is going to be. Why don't I'll say Hunters, or since Marsh was like in the pit the first loop, that this will be on you. You're gonna roll 2d6 for the doors move, plus whatever ability you want. I mean, it doesn't matter for this one, since we're raw dogging the time loops here.
Okay, so 2d6, and then I'll add. Well, I can't add base because he's dumb as hell. So there's no way he's just figuring this out, you know?
Right.
So I think so the doors move is just get like a clue about what's currently happening with this loop, right?
Yeah.
I think when I get in the crowd, I follow in with another like group. I talk about like having a weird night and just like feeling weird, you know?
Cool. So you want to use volume probably for your social?
Yes, I'll use volume.
Cool.
Okay, hold on. Where's my dice roll? I rolled an 11 plus 0.
Wow. Okay. So you get a clue. Your first clue is gonna be sort of, there's like, I'm sure you've had this experience as well, that when you play those shows or you attend to shows at American Legion, like the wiring, the electricity is like somehow never enough for the guitar amps and stuff. And you'll hear like people's phones clicking, or you'll hear like radio chatter. As the first band's feedback is going on, and you're like sort of socializing and wondering like what the fuck's going on, you can not very distinctly and not very explicitly, but you hear someone talking and their voice is coming through the PA almost as like static or interference.
Okay.
So I wrote that down. If one of you wants to put it in the character keeper too, there's a section on the left for clues, but I just wrote it down on a piece of paper in front of me.
I'm gonna go old school and write it down on my whole thing.
Cool.
Oh God,
I actually don't. I'm curious too if one of you adds it to yours, if the clues are like shared in the character
Well,
keeper.
I'm gonna do that. So we hear voices over the PA.
Yeah.
But we couldn't make out what they were saying, right? We just hear like
It's
voices
just like
talking.
staticky interference kind of voices.
Static. I'm gonna put a K in staticky. Staticky moved to the PA.
Oh, it does not populate across sheets, but
I'll copy
Hunter,
paste.
Sure. Yeah, I was gonna say since you're writing it down, you're good anyway.
Yeah, I'm writing it down.
Cool. So that's the doors move. That's how you get clues, just as an aside.
Cool.
The how you act on clues. Again, there's like a tab on the character keeper if you want to see all these yourself, especially I know Hunter, your zine is on my desk still. So the where Eagles Dare is the move where you use those clues that you've accrued to try to get out. It's super weighted such that you're going to have to die a few times to get there, but that's sort of the loop of, or like the mechanical loop of the game, is going through doors, hoping you get a clue, using that clue to do where Eagles Dare, hoping you get out. That hope is very disparate. Takes a while. It's gonna take a minute for you to accrue enough stuff to work on that. But in the meantime, we're at the show. So Marsh and Johnny, you both have heard these voices and you're both aware of them. Like I said, you can't really make out who it is or what they're saying, but it's very clear like you are hearing something and no one else seems to acknowledge it or be privy to it. Do you react at all to like that awareness, or are you maybe too aloof?
I think I'm actively aloof. Like, I think my response to feeling like I just died is to just fucking pretend I didn't. And to just, it sounds like this shit, I actively ignore it. Shit happens. People come over the radio and I'm, yeah.
Cool. I think you're right. Like, this is not innately weird to hear radio static through the amps and stuff. Had you not just experienced your own death, I think this would not even register at all as significant. But you have, and you also have both elected to be maybe not the brightest bulb in the box, so that tracks as well in terms of like fuck it and whatever.
Low IQ gang, you know.
So the show continues. The band's playing a couple tracks. The pit is active. As you sort of I guess diminish that worry, that diminish that thought in your head that you did just die and something weird is going on. How do you kind of like loosen up and like try to get into it?
Can I get a beer here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say I assume your characters are of age, but also it doesn't really matter. In this environment, it doesn't really matter. I guess, do you want to go the official route and order a drink from the bar, or do you want to go like maybe out back?
I want to go out back.
Do you have like a guy that's like, or maybe not even a guy, just like a person who's always out back at these shows?
I mean, there is always someone.
There's always a few people, but is this like a regular thing for you where you're going to be welcomed there, or is it like a?
I feel like this is a regular thing. I feel like the guy I'm playing is like fairly, maybe not the best guy, but a really social guy, you know?
Cool. I'm gonna use the character drop downs and just steal names. Chili's out there.
Chili.
They are like the got what you need. They're not necessarily a dealer of sorts, but they make everybody happy at these sort of things.
Cool. Yeah, we dab each other up, they did like, really bring it in tight,
Yeah. They're cool. They're like, in a way, like the band is the life of the party, but Chili's the life of the after party. They're outside and just they've got like a couple cronies with them that are always there and like always kind of wasted. They're not even fans of the music, it seems. They're just kind of fans of being inebriated. And Chili's like, "What's up? What's up? What can I do for you guys tonight?"
Oh, Johnny, are you with me? Did you come with me?
No, I
Sorry. Okay, then just you. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
I'm just, hey man, can I grab a beer?
Yeah, they just like have it in their jacket pocket, like
Thanks,
inside.
man.
It is body temperature for sure.
That's fine. It's a show. I assume this is like Keystone or Natty Light in a can.
Yeah,
From like a dirty 30.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, man. Thanks.
Someone is wearing the empty case on their head and is passed out by the dumpster.
That's so funny. Oh my god, we're really calling back to my childhood in this game. My adolescence. Yeah. So he gives me a can, and I friggin', and so how's it going, man?
It's a great night to be alive. They're just smoking cigarettes and kicking rocks around and like, just passing the time.
Cool, man. I mean, anything weird happen?
They look around, they like see all their like dumb idiot friends who are all of various levels of holding one another up.
Right.
No, just the usual.
Okay, well, thanks, man.
And as you two are chatting, you see like a 15 passenger with a shitty trailer like pull up to the back of the venue. Presumably another one of the bands is rolling up and about to like unpack their gear. While they do that, they like block off they're sort of parked between the venue, you, and then like the outer world. So they're sort of like closing you in this moment. While that's happening outside, Johnny, what's going on inside?
So like I said, I carefully step down and then I actively try to just not think about what happened. Just immediately goes out of my head. I think I start getting a little rowdy. Trying to not think about what's going on. So I feel like I'm gonna like elbow my way into the pit and just kind of start, circling around, going about my business as one does. Throwing some bows,
Do you know the band on right now, or are you just sort of like going with whatever's happening? Like, are you, I guess, a fan where you might like sing along, or are you just in it for moshing?
I think that I think I know of this band and like one of the songs, and they're cool. That's fine.
Perfect.
Whatever.
That is a perfect answer. That is absolutely the bar of am I going to the show or not? Cool. So as you're in the pit, I think you get like mule kicked by Napalm, who's just like commanding the pit area. It knocks the wind out of you, and you're just sort of like, I think the momentary pain is going to sort of like give you that mental flashback too of the pain of getting struck in your dome on the bar.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
What do you do after Napalm gets you good?
Yeah, I think he definitely catches me, and I think maybe I even like fall down and like bang my head, which yeah, immediately gives me the flashback of falling down and bang in my head. And it shocks me for a second because like I sit up, but I'm still here. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like back in my car again or anything. So I like. All right.
So I think
all right.
as you're sort of like taking your breather in the pit,
Mm-hmm.
even for just a moment, I think this calls a fuck around move. So this is the special move for showgoers. When you break the established courtesies of going to a show, which is being in the pit and not actively, throwing fists or whatever, you're going to roll plus volume. Um, and then there's a pick list if you succeed, and then I make things worse if you don't.
Okay, so I have nothing in volume. I rolled 2d6. I got an 8. Double fours.
Cool. So you can see on your character sheet the pick list. You're going to choose one of these options.
Everyone looks at you.
I get the attention of all those nearby. I'm gonna go.
It makes me anxious to hear that. I'm like, oh god, no, not that one. The fuck no.
I'm gonna go with I think that's one that makes most sense. I get the attention of all those nearby. Like I'm literally just like standing fucking still, like in the pit. And everyone just like as everyone's like circling around me, everyone's just looking at like, who the fuck is this guy just like standing there? I'm not big enough to be the one guy that stands still, you know what I mean? Like
It's just sort of this pure luck that all these fists are getting thrown and around you and none of them are striking you. You have this like magical aura around you almost. And
yeah.
as the song ends and like the band is still on stage, the vocalist says something like, yo, get a look at this, dude. What the fuck is going on? Is somebody is like, are you okay? And like, yeah, the room besides just guitar hum and sort of the chattering of the people on the further outside, the crowd and band are just sort of like all looking at you, sort of perplexed.
Dope. Yeah, I immediately duck head and move out of the pit towards the bar.
Cool. Let me see. 1 second. I think to go back to Marsh, who's outside with Chili and the Burnouts, and who's presumably another band coming through. I'm gonna ask you to do the "This Is Hell" move. So everything is not quite right. I want you to describe how things are getting weird. People look or act unexpectedly. The environment shifts in unexpected ways. Your nightmares come to reality, or the show otherwise feels much worse for everyone. And then you're going to roll plus base. There's a pick list, and it's in the moves tab if that's easiest for you.
Yeah.
What happens for this cell?
Wait, it's in the moves tab?
Yeah, it's the bottom left move. This is hell.
Sorry, I was scrolled all the way over. This is hell. Okay, cool. So you want me to roll then describe?
Why don't you describe? Because this van has pulled up and blocked you off, and maybe it's like taking a little bit longer than expected for them to get out of the van. If it was a band, you would think that they would have like checked in and maybe like started moving some gear by now. Things are just sort of feeling like a pregnant pause right now.
I feel like it's just like the inherent wrongness of everything. Like it's nothing like I'm not seeing blurred faces or anything, but like everything that's happening just feels like heavy and oppressive and like wrong, you know? That's how I feel like I'm feeling things.
Cool. So yeah, go ahead and roll 2d6 plus base.
I rolled a 5.
Do you have base?
So I rolled a 6 and I have a -1 to base. So I rolled
cool.
so 5. Yeah.
Okay. So this is our first distortion. You're doing a presence distortion. There are, let's see, where are those in your character?
Left side.
Yes. These don't have drop downs. So there's 4. They each are their own scene. You can do them. You can do them in any order, whereas past
Okay.
has to go top to bottom. If you want, I can. Yeah, you can just pick one, and I'll just describe it to you. Because
Actually, I have them all open next to me.
oh, cool, perfect.
Yeah, multiple screens. Actually, I clicked I am the one because it's the first one, but like I think I'm gonna do I am the one. You know?
Cool. Just for the viewers, that move says describe how you see yourself as your group's leader, both historically and tonight. Gain +1 to your next doors move.
So I think that historically, Marsh thinks of himself as like physically imposing and like morally good. Even though like I only think one of those things is actually inherently true, which is that he's physically imposing. So I feel like he's like almost like that, like self-glorifying, like, yeah, dude, like, you know, I'm the one of us, you know, like I'm that guy. And tonight, even like, you know, I had that thing, like I didn't crack under the pressure, like I'm about my business, you know?
Yeah, I think you're sort of imbued with that confidence when the van doors open up and you can kind of feel like Chili, who is standing next to you. You don't maybe see them, but you feel them sort of like take a couple steps back.
Right.
Because the people that get out of the van almost they barely resemble people. It's night, but that doesn't, there's like still street lamps and parking lot lamps and stuff. So it doesn't explain why you're not able to decipher like any of their facial features or their dress or anything. It's just almost like they almost just look like TV static in the shape of a person. It just doesn't really like make sense to you. But you still think you're the one, like you are the guy. So I think you're maybe, yeah, imbued with this momentary confidence in the face of something awry. What do you do when they start walking towards you?
Oh, nothing. Like standing like, what the fuck is that, man? You know, just like standing up big, being bigger than they are, you know?
I think they you know, you see someone get out of the driver's seat, you get the sliders on the back door open up. At first it's three shapes, it's 5, then there's like 9 shapes coming towards you. Like they just start to sort of encircle you. They're all nearly identical. I guess there's no decipherable difference that you can make out between them. Yeah, do you try to interact at all? They're like sort of,
They're circling me.
they're like sort of like, yeah, approaching in like a wave that's going to sort of like curl around you. Yeah.
Yeah, I like put my right hand in my pocket where my brass knuckles are, and I kind of slip them on like in my pocket, and I keep my fist in my pocket. I'm like, you know, I look back at Chili, and the burnouts.
Chili, they're like
Chili and
staring
the
at the ground.
Yeah, Chili and the
like,
burnouts.
They're like pretending not to look. They're aware of the situation. They're not saying anything, and they're just like staring at their shoes.
I'm like, okay.
I think in this moment too, you can kind of hear faintly from inside, like just the vocalist saying like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And you hear almost like the laughter of the group going on inside. Just like sharply contrasting your like extremely tense situation. I don't want to cut away because I feel like they're like you're about to throw hands.
I'm about to throw hands, so I shout. I'm like, as they start approaching, I'm like, "What's up?" You know.
And maybe you just hear your own voice like echo back, like "What's up?" Exactly same cadence, and
I pull out the brass knuckles. I'm like, "Hey, no closer."
Do you want to do you want to like intimidate them, or you want to like swing at them?
Oh, I think I'm
gonna be the same move.
What's up?
It'll be the same move,
right?
But I'm just curious.
I think I'm gonna swing at him.
Okay, great. So this is a rise above move.
Cool.
When you attempt to confront or avoid a threat, describe how, and which is swinging punches with a bloody or with the brass knuckles. And then roll plus your most relevant stat, which is going to be your gain. At stake here is obviously your physical safety.
Cool.
Yeah, punch I think is the most obvious. Like what's at stake is you can protect yourself or you can get stomped. So yeah, go ahead and roll 2d6 plus gain.
Do I get a +1 for the item? Is
You
that
do,
how items
yes.
work? Okay,
So it'll be
I
plus 2 total.
yeah. So 7.
7 is with your pluses.
That is with my pluses. Yes.
Okay, so it says you barely managed to accomplish your goal, but you aren't quite unscathed. You describe how you're hurt, and then I'll give you a condition. So you do like you pull back, you swing, you feel the connection of your fist against what you think is face, right? It's a familiar enough feeling, but something like but you also feel pain more than just like the sort of recoil, the pushback of your fist. You are hurt in some way. So how does it feel, I guess?
Oh, I feel like it. I punched it, and that arm like goes like static numb, but like pain. You know, like the sharp, numb, staticky pain. Yeah.
I think let's go with numb as your condition. That fits perfect.
Okay.
So you add that to your conditions list on your character sheet. Individual conditions are just going to sort of carry over. They're not necessarily detrimental mechanically, but if you fill all 5 of your conditions, then you have disadvantage on all of your moves until you get them cleared up. Cool. The look back and laugh move is how you will clear those in the event that you want to. So as you take the swing and go pins and needles, we're going to flash back to Johnny, who's been socially ostracized. And where do you find yourself trying to like find some comfort?
I stumbled to there. Is there like an official alcohol cellar inside this?
Yeah, there's a bar, and there's like, this older lady who's always there, who's just like knows. She's always at the shows. She's like, she works for the American Legion. She's not a punk, but she sells and she works here. So her name's Patricia. She's just, and like you've probably ordered from her before, but she never remembers. Like there are no regulars at this place except for the actual veterans who come here. So she's one of the like classic old lady servers who's like, what can I get for you tonight, sweetheart?
I guess just could I get a peeber? It's like a tall boy.
She already like had her hand on one because it's all that anybody's been ordering tonight. So yeah, cracks the can and hands it to you. Asks for whatever it costs to get one, and you have the sort of momentary normalcy that is a like retail transaction, I guess, like this sort of moment inside but outside of the show itself. Are you alone in this moment? Like, are you having a beer by yourself?
I feel like that makes sense. I feel like everybody was looking at me. Everyone saw me. I stumbled to the bar. If anyone was kind of like hanging out at the bar, I'm not like a pariah right now, but like they find no reason to continue to stay at the bar. Yeah. And if I'm not completely alone, I went to a part of the bar where I would be away from everybody else, like all the way to the edge, the opposite edge of where I fell down.
Cool. So over in that corner, there's like there's an old veteran dude named Ted who's always there, just the same as Patricia's always there. Even when there's a show, he just doesn't really give a shit. He kind of just like hangs out, both arms up on the bar, and he like raises his can at you. And when you raise yours back, he kind of like scooches a little bit closer and kind of like grumbles a little bit. You can't quite understand what the hell he's saying because there's a band playing and he's old and it's a lot, but he's like looking at you like waiting for an answer.
Yeah.
He like his eyes like dart around the room, surprised that you affirmed this question. And he almost like stands up. He's like his butt's barely touching his stool, and he says, "Really? You sure?
Wait, what'd you say?
Yeah, you really want to do this?"
Well, I didn't hear what you said the first time. What are we doing?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, so I'm a little out of it tonight. What are we doing? Not that I'm not down, but what are we doing?
We're gonna unplug all this noise and play some real music in here.
What is real music?
And he smacks you like, come on, what I mean?
Yeah. Why don't you start? I'll grab
He
you
like
another
grabs
beer.
your shoulder like firm.
God damn it.
And is like like pushing you along with him back towards the show area.
You are living a nightmare scenario right now, Ryan. Everyone looked at you. Now
anxiety is. I'm gonna just have a panic attack and die. That's what's gonna kill me next.
Oh my god.
Fuck. I'm just at this point, like I'm just stumbling along. Like I'm almost in a daze.
I want you to do a "This Is Hell" move here as well, where you describe how this is weirder than it already sounds.
So I say that before I roll, right?
Yeah, ideally, but
I mean, but that's the thing though. It's like I'm not normally like an anxious person. Shit doesn't really bother me. I just don't give a fuck. But I am so like bothered right now that I can almost not speak. Like I feel like a weight in my chest, so I can't even like catch my breath. And I can feel this guy's fucking breath like on the back of my neck as he's pushing me. And for some reason, like his fingers are digging in it. It hurts so fucking bad. Just like this numbness in my shoulder. And I just like everything starts to get just a little like bright and gray. And the sound gets a little bit like muffled a little bit. You know, like I'm like I feel like I'm gonna pass out kind of, but like not really. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't eat enough and I stood up too fast, you know?
Yeah, perfect.
That's kind of how I feel right now. But I feel everything way too much. And then I'm rolling This Is Hell. Do I have a mod for This Is Hell?
This is plus base.
Oh, dope. So -1.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got a 6 and a 3, so I got a 9 -1 is 8.
Cool. And then you have a pick list there. You choose one option.
Okay, so GM reveals a clue that emerges from the weirdness. The weirdness alters your sense of self. Describe how you manifest. You realize something you could have done. No, I don't think the last one's good right now. I'm going to go with the weirdness alters my sense of self. And I guess I need to describe how I manifest change, then move one stat point to a different stat. So... so I'm in this weird kind of space in my head right now where everything sucks and everything's fucked and I feel like I'm gonna pass out and I guess I'm deciding if that's gonna if I'm gonna fall into that or if I'm going to their stats or like fight that off and how that changes. So muscle, no. Tone, meh. Use volume when you talk. Belt out a song, otherwise interact socially. I'm going to.
You're so depressed by the stark reality of the world that you're now worse socially.
I kind of feel like, yeah, I'm gonna turn my volume down one. And that's exactly, like, I have failed every social situation in this loop, apparently. I can't even break away from this old fuck. And my anxiety is through the roof, and I feel like everybody is just still laughing at me. And
So since you reduced that by one, you can put that +1 somewhere else.
oh, really? I alter.
So your manifestation is moving 1.2 somewhere else. So it's like a +1 and a -1, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay, so I went down in the social anxiety. So then I'm gonna go up in my gain then,
Cool.
because I want to just dig deep into my anxiety right now and just shrug this guy off with everything I have. So my muscles like all tense up and stuff, and I throw a bow right at this dude and get his fucking hands off me.
Cool. I think that's a rise above. I feel like any act of violence is a rise above.
Fuck yeah.
So at stake here, I think your pride, in a way, as you're approaching the crowd again after being weirdly embarrassed. Although, you know, hitting a war vet is a weird public move as well. But
so my volume went down. You know, I don't care.
Yeah. So you're gonna roll plus your most relevant stat, which in this situation, excuse me. This situation is gain. So
okay.
Yeah, 2d6 plus 1.
I rolled a 7 plus 1 is 8.
Cool. So you do buck Ted off of you, but you manage to get hurt in the process. I guess this doesn't have to be a physical harm, but like, yeah, how does you bucking Ted off of you cause you sort of an unexpected harm?
I think I popped this guy in the fucking mouth, and there's enough people close to me that they're just like, somebody's just like, and just like just like body checks me into the wall.
Cool. Perfect. So you're gonna get a condition. I think that condition might be, let's go with ostracized. I think
Yep.
your social currency is sort of depleting quickly.
Cool. Are the conditions just made up as we go? Or is there like a list?
Yeah. No, they're made up.
Okay, cool. So, all right. So then we're just acting out, and these stay with us, right? So like if I die in the next loop, like I still am ostracized?
You're still ostracized, yeah.
Fucking
sort of
dope.
More so like you two are experiencing all of this in real time, whereas everyone else is experiencing this one time in the same like
Gotcha.
sort of time loop classic vanity. Like I said, the look back and laugh move where you two like confide in each other is how you clear conditions, but nothing really bad happens until you've accrued enough to fill that space.
Okay.
Let's go back outside where Marsh has just decked one of these ambiguous beings and gone numb in the arm. They don't seem to, like, despite you having struck them, they don't seem to have reacted really. They're just sort of still all around you. It's even like, you know, it's hard to tell what their features are, what they look like, what their deal is, but it's hard to even tell like where one of them ends and the next one begins. Like there's this really deep darkness that is almost like pulsating from them as they sort of encircle you. They've now like cut off your passage back into the venue. Chili and the burnouts haven't changed their demeanor at all, but Chili is sort of like, you know, like softly whistling, looking up, pretending that they didn't see anything, and they're just getting out of here.
Oh, so like they're like getting out of here while this is happening?
like as incognito as possible.
Okay. I don't think it makes sense for Marsh to be incognito. I feel like I kind of want to like just fucking yell at them to get away. You know, like I feel like he just like raises, like holding his arm because Dom's like, you get the fuck out of here, boy. I really, you know, like that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I think that's a rise above plus volume, unless you, yeah. I guess volume or base, whichever one you prefer.
I would prefer volume because it's a 0.
Sure.
I rolled a 9.
Okay. So your outburst sort of gets them to, I guess, disperse a little bit.
Okay.
That sort of just like, I guess if each of them took a step back, it would create a small gap in between them. Like it's not this ring around you anymore. It's a little bit less solid. But in doing so, how are you further hurt?
Oh, I think this hurts Marsh's pride. Like running away, you know, like ducking out like that instead of like getting in a fight. Like I think it actually injures his pride.
Cool. I would put embarrassed for that condition. I think you're both you're both dweebing a little bit at the show. Cool. So yeah, you're still in this situation. You're now alone in this situation.
Very good.
And despite this sort of incremental success that is creating a little distance between you and them, you're still outside of the show and like no one's really like privy to your situation.
I got past them, right?
They have, so like, whereas they were like pretty tightly packed around you,
Right.
now they're kind of like this around you. Like
I'm trying to run into the show, you know?
cool. Let's rise above again with tone this time, as this is sort of like a speed check. Unless I guess if you want to sort of barrel through them, you could use.
I'm gonna barrel through them. I'm more of a gain guy, you know.
Yes.
So I'm gonna barrel. I rolled a 9. Well, I rolled an 8 plus 1's a 9.
Cool. Again, you're going to be able to get through, and you're going to get hurt. As let's say you sort of like charged through one of these beings. You do feel it, the pressure of it again, like, you know, the impact of hitting something. And you're able to like breach the back door of the Legion Hall and get back inside. But in doing so, you're once again hurt. What hurts you this time?
I mean, is the impact enough to like daze me?
I guess it's up to you. I think the impact is probably more than you were expecting from just running through a guy, which is something that you would have done plenty of times.
Right. Yeah, Marsh, man, it's my weekend. Yeah, I feel like the pressure of passing through him, like not quite knocks the air out of me, but like I'm kind of seeing stars, you know. I'm a little dazed from the impact.
Cool.
I'm getting messed up out here. So
for sure. But at least now you're back inside. You're sort of in, I guess I would hesitate to call it the backstage area, but you're behind where the band plays.
Yeah.
And the door like slams behind you, like you've created just enough of a gap between you and these things or these people that were bothering you.
Cool.
Meanwhile, I think you, as you like breach and catch your breath, you can see like the show again. You know, there's not really a distinction between backstage and the showroom, where you see Johnny get checked into the wall by one of the showgoers for throwing elbows at Ted, the regular. Yeah, I mean, obviously you're dealing with your own shit, but
no, I'm like, hey, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that's those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys don't get fucked with without those guys showing up, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Can I just swing at the guy who checked me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I just want to swing at this guy. are we going with? I guess that's gain since I'm muscling. Would that be a rise above roll? To rise above is pretty much any type of violence, right?
Rise above is violence, and this is hell. This is weird, and everything else is time loop.
Gotcha.
This is game. So, this is a game that sort of expects you to be and do violence.
I got 3, 2, 5 plus 1 is I got a 6.
Okay. On a 6, you die. So to repeat that sequence, both of you get to describe how in this moment you are killed.
I feel like that guy checked me, and I'm already, so like that weird feeling I had before where I got like super anxious, but suddenly like I'm feeling like all muscled up, like my gain increased. Like I just went fucking like rage mode, and this guy checked me. I punched him in the fucking face. I shoved him back into the crowd. And then like the crowd already fucking hates me now, like even more because like the weird shit that was going on or whatever. And I feel like it just like the pit goes from like punching people in the face for fun to punching people in the face not for fun.
The line is
or
thin.
For a different kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like 3 people just start like barreling on me, and I'm swinging, I'm chucking, but like I get beat down, and Marsh can hop in at any time because this is now like a fucking free-for-all in the midst of it. But I feel like at some point, no matter what he does, I get put on the ground and a boot right in my fucking dome again. And this one puts
maybe it's
me
the
out.
same spot, even like it's like right on the temple, and you
I feel like
there's this magnet inside of your brain that's just asking for impact.
Yeah. So like as the boot goes down on Ryan, that old man comes behind me and breaks a beer ball on my head, soaking me in beer. And then I get shoved into the equipment, and I just like hit a wire. I'm just like fried.
Perfect. So you both again black out, come to, you're outside the venue. Marsh, you're shooting the shit with Pegleg Blake, and Johnny, you're parking the car just at the last minute. You now have, again, this recollection, this awareness that you have died once again, together, at least this time. And the doors move has you again, like convene with one another. So let's say, Marsh takes his leave of absence from Blake and like heads off to the side. Johnny slowly cautiously walks up from the car, and the two of you are once again outside the venue, putting the pieces together.
Wait, is this happen? Do you remember?
Do I remember what?
The fight.
Okay, so there was a fight.
Yeah.
That was tonight.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the fight last Tuesday.
This is a real conversation. I was going to say, this is a real conversation at any show. Do you remember the fight?
Yeah. No, that it hasn't happened, but it just happened.
All right.
What the fuck
are you saying?
You hear the feedback from the guitars inside. This is now like this is your third time loop. So you like, this is almost like confirmation. Like you're hearing the sound again. Like you've been here before.
It's the same, like or whatever. Like it's clearly the exact same sound.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is going on, dude?
I think this has happened to me 3 times already.
Like this is the 3rd time we're at the door.
Yes. I
fucking died, dude.
Yeah. What's going on?
Fuck.
What kind of Scooby-Doo bullshit is this?
Ryan, you're gonna be rolling the doors move since it was your move that triggered your deaths. So you're trying to put the pieces together, but you're both kind of dullards. So I think you're gonna roll maybe plus base.
Okay. What Well, how did you say we get rid of conditions? Is that when we like get together and try to figure shit out? Is that like a now thing or is that like a later thing?
That's a later thing. Doors
Okay.
is when you get together, try to figure shit out. This is where you maybe get clues.
Okay, gotcha.
Look
All right.
back and laugh is how you clear
groups.
conditions, and that'll take place sort of after that. So like, I guess
Gotcha. So that
the
happens
loop of
during
the
the
game.
loop, and doors kind of starts the loop, and the laughing kind of happens during the loop. Got it.
Doors
Okay.
is the start of the loop. If you want, after doors is when you do Where Eagles Dare, where you try to like break the loop. But again, I think you may be lacking some clues to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just sort of like a peek behind the curtain too. Like, the game sort of expects you to rise above a lot and then die a lot. And thusly that you're going to be getting more clues from doors that way.
Gotcha.
Because there are obviously a limited number of moves in the game. It expects you to answer questions with your fists or with your, the move as written, it says when you attempt to confront or avoid a threat. It doesn't necessarily say when you attempt to punch somebody, but
Gotcha.
because of who our characters are, that is
Right,
sort of what the path we're on.
Any kind of conflict whatsoever, we rise above. Got it. So I rolled.
I could probably.
What am I rolling?
You're gonna roll. I think
doors plus base
here.
Dope.
Yeah.
So I got a 5.
Okay. So you haven't really learned anything, despite. I mean, I think that tracks for who our characters are.
Well, and it's the first time we actually we fucking died, right?
Yeah, your first time being cognizant in this moment. I will have you do a past distortion as a result of your failure. So these are the ones that go in order. So you're going to be doing a scene of just the other night.
Okay.
Again, I think these are not on the character sheet, or on the keeper.
Oh,
I don't know.
I have. Yeah, I have
you have it. Okay.
I got the PDF. Yeah. So just the other night, narrate a moment that occurred in the last week where you felt like shit. Other players add details on how this event was supernatural. -1 to base or volume. We're gonna be like -18 base is what's gonna happen. So I already mentioned like the fight last week. Like,
yeah, perfect.
There, like last Tuesday, we were here at the VFW or at the whatever. Like we had a moose lodge in my area, but that wasn't just for veterans, but a lot of veterans were there.
I love it because these are all effectively the exact same thing.
Yeah. We all in Pennsylvania, you weren't allowed to drink after 2, but at the moose lodge, because it was a private place, you were allowed to drink till 3. So everyone was a moose, so we could all just drink for 1 more hour. I feel like maybe I got a fucking concussion last week or something, because I feel like I took a bottle to the face and then twice tonight I've been hitting the fucking head and died, dude.
In the same spot, and it hurts in the same spot, and you maybe have like a ringing
Is there
feeling.
something fucking there? I'm asking you, dude.
Yeah, like, man, there's like a,
fuck you. And I like shove him off me.
And Hunter, you get to add details on how this event was actually something supernatural or strange about it.
Well, that guy wasn't standing with the bottle, wasn't standing behind you 1 moment before he hit you with a bottle, Like,
so someone threw a fucking bottle, or just
no,
like
the guy
someone
just appeared behind you with a bottle. He came from nowhere. He wasn't there, and then he was, and he hit you.
I love it. And just because now that you have -2 base, -2 is the minimum for a stat, so like you can't go lower than that.
Dope. Cool.
That's your small saving grace right now.
Yeah, it's great.
Cool. So otherwise, you're back at the show. You haven't figured out much. The band is playing. I guess, how deliberate are you about doing the same thing versus something different? You are now explicitly aware that this is a repeat, not just like something imagined.
Let's stick the fuck together, dude.
Okay. I relate everything that I experienced in the last loop.
Yeah.
Same.
And I kind of have one of those moments where like I'm like a little freaked out, Yeah. I'm like, man, this is so much, man. I mean, just remember how great things were a couple weeks ago, and I'm gonna what's the name of the move? Hold on.
Oh, look back
and laugh. With Ryan. We're gonna bring some levity to our dramatic situation just through conversation, you know. Or Johnny, not Ryan. I don't know who Ryan is.
So we both have drank alcohol already, so we're not straight edge kids, right?
No.
So Marsh definitely was, and definitely is like espouts like Christianity and like Christian values, but like is in no way like very Christian, you know?
Yeah, I'm super not that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we allowed? Can we? Like, do you just want to fuck this and just go out back? Oh fuck, you were just out back.
I was. Do you want to go? We can go do it again.
Well, I mean, you said Chili's out there, right?
Yeah.
Do you think he has something that's not beer?
Yeah.
Let's go talk to Chili and the Chili and the Bandits or whatever.
Yeah.
As you're like walking through the venue to go through the back door, like you can see Ted slumped over at the bar ordering another drink from Patricia. You can see Napalm crowd killing, just like everything in its right place, so to speak.
Yeah.
And you exit the back doors where you see somebody, you know, putting the empty 30 rack on their head and like running around. They run into the wall, knock themselves out, and they're passed out next to the dumpster where Marsh saw them last time, the same position. Chili, you know, goes to grab your hand and says, "What's up, dude? Let's go."
Yo, hey, you got any on you there, buddy?
Yeah. They like reach in like to their pants, like not their pocket, but like into their crotch where it's hidden to pull out this really crumpled Ziploc baggie, stems and all,
Half brown and shit. Yeah.
of some skunk weed for sure. And says like, dude, you know, like I always take care of you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. Hey, you don't have a one hitter on you for a minute, do you?
I think Rex does.
If he reaches for his back end, I'm good on.
he says Rex, and it's the dude who's got the empty case on his head, who's blackout, like is not moving.
I got it. It's cool. I got it. Yeah. So I'll give him whatever he wants. Like I assume it's a dime.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll just go rifle Rex's pockets, and then there's a dumpster, right? Like I'm just gonna like wave Marsh over, and I just want to like sit behind, like lean against the dumpster, and just like pack this one hitter. And
I grab a beer again, just before I head over there.
Yeah,
you know.
Dope.
Yeah, it's the same one.
Yeah, let's get
it's
crossfaded, brah. Yeah.
And as you do, like
can
as
we
you
look back and laugh now? Is this the
perfect? Yeah. Go ahead. I was gonna say as you convene behind the dumpster, the van pulls up. I think that still is gonna happen while you're having your moment.
Cool. I want you to know that when you offer me the one hitter, I hold up my hand like, no, sorry, I'm Christian, and I take a sip of beer. You know.
Like I laugh. I hit. I guess browns, not greens. And then, like, are you actually being serious, or are you just like fucking with me because we're laughing at each other?
I mean, my character is genuinely saying that. Yes. So.
Oh man, listen, God put everything on this earth for our use, man. That's what.
Yeah, he gives you some like weird pseudo-Christian, former straight edge rhetoric that means nothing.
Listen, I need to feel something different for just a minute. It's not even like a lot. It's just anything. All right, give me a second.
It's like sipping his beer, being a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just stuff this with what I got and hit it till it's gone. I don't even notice like the sound of the van pulling up because I mean, I think he told me about a van or whatever, but it's not even something that I notice anymore. But now I'm just like, I'm gonna say kind of high because I feel like I'm not getting blazed on this.
Yeah, right. And there's there's a band playing on the other side of this wall, and like there's plenty of reasons to not be aware that there is this 15 passenger parked like just on the other side of the dumpster.
So I just want to talk about like the show last week. Like, I mean, I know that I got domed with a fucking bottle, but it was a good fucking show, man.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we saw what was that BT Bam? They had intervals opening for him.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Shit's getting weird. But hey, listen, we're alive, right?
Yeah, man. Hey, through Christ, all things are possible. So.
Fuck off, dude. Fuck off, dude. All right. Listen,
I think as you're
let's just
having
not
your
start
like,
shit. Yeah, let's just not start shit and go watch the fucking show.
and I think as you're both sort of like laughing and like taking that moment of levity, you hear the van doors open and close, and
I perk up. I'm like,
yeah,
it's them.
and I think if you peek, you can see once again this like figure, like detailless figures, sort of approaching from the van towards the show.
What the fuck? Are they approaching us or are they going into the show?
Chili sort of freezes up, is not saying anything, is sort of looking over at you to be like, what the fuck's going on?
We're by a dumpster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like behind the dumpster.
Yeah, so like I pull Johnny a little further. I'm like, well, just watch.
Listen, I'm kind of high, okay? All right.
So I think you see one of them like come up and like grab Chili by the face, like just full on palm their face and like throw them back up against the concrete wall. Chili's head kind of cracks against the wall and they just like sort of slump down. You see do you say that?
No.
So you see one of them like open the door to the back of the venue. Again, there was, I think we said like 9 of them in slow succession, as they sort of like, you see, maybe 3 or 4 of them go through the doors before one of them seems to be like aware of your presence. And like now I guess you say 3 of them sort of turn 90 degrees and start walking towards you behind the dumpster.
Fuck.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, did we get rid of a condition for laughing and looking back?
You did 1, I think. You can only do 1 per loop.
I have 1.
I thought it cleared all conditions per loop. My bad.
Wait, let me see what it says. You each clear 1 condition from doing it.
Okay.
Both of you clear single condition. What's up? Okay, cool. Got it.
Cool.
All right, I'm no longer ostracized. What do we fucking do? What do we fucking do?
I mean, the only thing we can do, and I pull out the brass knuckles again. Like, I don't know, man.
Oh my god, we're gonna fucking die again, dude. We're gonna fucking die again.
If we die again, then we'll just end up out front again.
What if we don't this time?
Then we don't.
That's a good fucking point. And I just like I have like a studded jacket on. Like, and I feel like maybe a couple of them are too big.
Yep.
And
gives the worst hugs.
Yeah. Like, it's the whole fucking thing, like front to back, this whole section. So I'm like, fuck it. And like, I smash the one hitter down and do we want to like each come around from like one side of the dumpster kind of thing?
Let's do it.
All right. I fucking fist bump and like eyes that way and I do this way and we just fucking peel out. And I just want to like drop a shoulder like right into one of these things.
Cool. So you're gonna rise above plus gain. What's at stake, I think, is just like, I guess, your autonomy. Like these things are trying to corner you. So you're just fighting to survive at this point.
Dope. All right.
I'll have you roll separately in case either of you gets the death.
Ooh, I rolled a 7 + 1.
Okay. So you're able to like spike through, let's say, one of these figures. You can feel again, like what we were describing earlier with Marsh. There's impact is heavier than what shoulder tackling just some dude at a show would be. This is like a pretty gratuitous impact. How are you hurt in the process?
I feel like I shoulder this guy with like my right shoulder, but I actually like take him off his feet, take it off its feet or whatever, and like drive it into the ground. But when I do, it kind of hooks me a little bit, and my head hits the ground too, the same
it's like
fucking
ringing
spot. Yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, it definitely cuts me open. I'm bleeding. My ears are ringing. My vision goes white for a second, and I just kind of like roll over on the ground.
I can't help but give you the concussed condition to make it official.
Dope.
Uh,
And that's just
Marsh,
me, but who knows? Because I could fucking die from this.
right. Yeah, Marsh, your attack is up next.
Yeah, so he shoulder checks the guy, and then I think I'm gonna try to punch the same guy, and like we're just tag teaming this guy. With the brass knuckles. Cool. I rolled an 8 + 2, so 10.
Awesome. So you do what you want, and I describe how you succeed. I think this thing is down on the ground. You continue to pummel it, and it sort of dissolves. It like almost like crumbles, like Nature Valley granola style, into like chunks that are sort of almost just sort of like scattered about that sort of stone and asphalt of the back lot. There's not necessarily anything like tangible left over. It's just sort of grainy, sandy, rocky junk everywhere. There are still a couple of these things coming out of the van, and there's still 2 more between you and the back door. But you've successfully disintegrated one, and in the process, Johnny has been a little bit fucked up.
Yeah.
I think as they see you take out one of them, the others are going to sort of like run and in tandem, like try to pile on to the 2 of you.
Perfect.
Oh, fuck yeah. Dope.
I think we should try a bolt. We got one down mid opening. Let's try to run.
Cool.
Okay.
You can.
I'm concussed as fuck.
Yeah, you're fucked
So if you're saying something to me, my ears are ringing.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I see you concussed, and I'm like, I gotta save my friend, you know. So I'm gonna keep throwing punches.
Well, I mean, you can just grab me and push me towards the door if you really want. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, I'm gonna grab him and push him towards the door.
Cool. So also as point of order, using the same item multiple times in a loop, you don't get the +1 anymore.
Okay, cool.
They're effectively like each single use, but
gotcha.
You can still use them for story's sake. You just don't get the +1.
All right, cool.
Gotcha.
So I think this is either, I don't know, this is gain and base, because this is acting cool under pressure and also physically moving a body. So I'll let you do either one. I know you have a lot of gain and no base, so
yeah. Well, I only have 1 gain, so I'll do gain.
Sure.
I'll use the power of my strength.
Yeah.
And I rolled an 8 again, and that means +1, so it's a 9.
So you managed to get Johnny's arm, like limp arm, over you. Some of the blood that's coming out of his temple is like on the side of your face, like you're almost like mirroring one another. But you managed to get him to the back door, which like the things that people, whatever we want to call them, are running towards you. You sort of like dip between, and they sort of like, almost like a bullfighter, you get through this little gap and through the door. In doing so, you are hurt. I guess how are you injured in a way that we didn't necessarily see an impact?
I feel like, I don't know, maybe he's like shaken up by like the nature of the experience. Like he's just like, afraid. Like, this is freaky. My friend just got knocked out. Like, I had to pick him up and run from a fight. Like,
Cool.
I'm getting to the point where like I'm genuinely getting shaken by the experience. I've died a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah, afraid is a great condition. I mean, it's not, but it's perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
Then when Ryan gets back, I'm gonna have Johnny, the concussed Johnny. I don't know if he can hear or not. The ears ringing Johnny is gonna do a "This is hell" move, because this sort of blurred vision, extreme circumstance is going to allow you to notice or see something strange.
All right.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. So
Cool.
I got to roll plus base.
You know it.
Dope. Okay, so -2. And all right, so yeah, so I'm just in a fucking daze. Like I took out that one, and then it's just like kind of flashes because everything just kind of like whited out, and like so I know that Marsh kind of grabbed me, kind of shoved me towards the door. We're like running in or whatever, but then like you said, everything gets fucking weird. Like I kind of almost get that same kind of like white, like dull kind of tunnel vision. Like I was concussed like. The concussion almost feels like the panic attack from last time, and I feel like I keep going into these like
altered state?
Fugue states, yeah, where like for some reason I can't stop getting fucking head injury. So then I'll roll. So yeah, and I think so. I say how it gets weird as we go into the thing. Like I feel like everyone is just kind of like, I can't make out any faces. Like everyone is just kind of this like white glowy thing with like a smudgy face. It's not quite the staticky thing, but like everything, all people in here don't make sense to me right now. Like I feel like they look like how I feel right now. It's just kind of like blurry and kind of like white and like putting off light. And that's how everything thinks to me, and everything is just ringing. Like everything is ringing. I see the guitars playing, and all I hear is this like loud ring, and that's it. And I roll minus base, and I got a 6.
Okay, so you're gonna have a presence distortion.
Dope.
Again, you mark these in any order. So, and you haven't done any of the presence ones yet. So. Your choice.
Okay, so I'm gonna go down to my distortions, and we got I'm the one. We got Wild in the Street. One of the members of the group is getting in there. I'm gonna say let's go with Trash. Describe how no matter your successes, tonight keeps making you feel like a failure. Choose one player to whom you express vulnerability. That would be Marsh. That'd be Hunter. Yeah. So we get into the venue, right? And then I feel like some of those staticky things are like they had gone in already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but fuck that. And Marsh, tell me if I take over for you too much, but I feel like once we get in the door and slam shut behind me, he kind of just like puts me in the corner. Like I slump down against the fucking wall, and he like, kind of like doesn't like slump next to me, but like kneels in front of me and is like looking at my fucking bleeding face and everything like that. And I'm just like, bro, like I'm fucked up. This is fucked up. Like I can't stop getting hit in the fucking head. Like everything hurts. My insides hurt. My heart hurts, bro. Like
yeah, you do keep getting hit in the head.
Yeah. This sucks. I don't want to do this anymore.
Hey man, listen. It's gonna be okay. Don't worry. We'll beat him up.
Yeah, just like Jesus said, right?
Just like Jesus, just like the Jews did to the Romans, you know?
Just like Jesus did to the bankers in the temple, you mean?
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go. Yeah, you remember one time he had a whip and he ran through, you
Yeah.
know? So,
Yeah.
he
Collecting
flipped
loans
tables.
on debt is a sin. Fuck off. So yeah, I express my vulnerability. And I mark trash.
Dope.
Cool.
Um, yeah, so you're in it. Like you're at the show. It's definitely a bad place for a concussed person to be. But
Mhm.
um from what you can tell, the show's going on as planned, as normal. You can see people piling on, you can see the band going at it, still playing. You can still see people getting drinks over at the bar. Like again, like this feels normal if it weren't for your own individual experiences. You don't seem to see these sort of like static beings in the crowd. Like you did see them get inside, but you don't necessarily see any right now. But you do hear some pounding at the back door, where you just breached, trying to get back in behind you.
Oh, I'm picking Johnny up a little bit. I'm like, no, we're walking.
Yeah. Yeah. Do I perpetually see like the people like I saw like in my concussed state? Like, is that how everything looks now to me because of the let's make like it hell or whatever?
I think it's like an ear ring where it's going to fade out slowly.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah. But Marsh is trying to get you up and out. I guess where are you headed?
Think to the bar.
Cool. Johnny, are you able to walk on your own volition, or does Marsh need to carry you?
No, I feel like once we got in, I took a breather. I expressed my vulnerability. I'm now more emotionally concussed, but I feel like, I mean, people go back and keep throwing touchdowns in the NFL with plenty of concussions. I feel like I can walk to the bar.
I feel like that's a great model for how to live life, you know?
Yeah. Who doesn't need CTE or whatever? So he like helps me out, but I'm able to just like kind of like shrug it a bit, and I can like kind of stumble after him to the bar. And like as we pass though, I'm gonna be like, it's that fucking guy. Don't talk to that fucking guy. As I pointed to
yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
In this moment where you have this sort of breath and try to collect yourselves and come up with some sort of plan or path, Napalm just comes like head walking across the crowd and like lunges at the pair of you, like freaking Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler, just full body slam style.
Right.
Yeah.
Why?
This is what crowd killing is.
Yeah.
Why? We're not even in the crowd, safe. Dude.
What do you do?
I'm gonna turn and headbutt this guy.
Yeah, fuck that. I drop a shoulder into his gut.
Let's resolve that headbutt first with a rise above roll. That's going to be, of course, plus gain.
10, baby.
10. So you despite all of the head trauma that your friend is experiencing, you buckle down, you brace yourself, and you ready your forehead to clock Napalm's temple as he soars towards you. And
I'm aiming for his nose.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever you're hitting, you're connecting, and you're basically taking him out of commission. Like that dude lands belly flop on the ground in front of you. You see like some blood pooling out from that impact with his nose, but it's not immediately clear where it's coming from. It's just a dude face down on the ground, KO'd.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny, you don't even need to act, thankfully. I guess, how do you react to this senseless violence?
I spit on him. No, I feel like I'm so concussed. Everything is like just barely coming back into focus. Like that was a very weird, like half daze thing where like this giant dude keeps coming, like is just looming over, and suddenly Marsh is just like he falls down, and I don't even see him at the ground. I turn around and I'm like, Patty Peeber.
She saw that whole exchange take place, and she, instead of going to grab you a drink, she grabs the landline off the wall and she says, I'm calling the police. This is getting out of control.
He started it.
She's just like overwhelmed, like, oh my God, like this is not like, I mean, this is every show, but this is also like, I'm pulling the plug on this. So she's just on the phone with the police, not serving drinks.
We should leave.
We really should just leave.
Yeah. You got your car?
Ted sees the both of you like convening at the bar and like gets up off his stool and starts sort of trudging towards you.
No. Fuck off, Ted. And I push him away from us.
I don't necessarily consider him a threat, so I don't know that this is a rise above. I think it's just you just shrug Ted off.
Yeah.
Old man
Not
Ted.
today, Ted. And I'm just like, yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. Yeah, look, what happens if we just run? What happens if we just say fuck it?
Like the game breaks.
Yeah.
Like most horror things, it just requires you to play ball.
Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
very fair.
I feel like this is too much. I feel like my concussed state is coming back or whatever. And I feel like I shoved Ted, and I feel like he probably wouldn't be happy about that. And if he even takes one more step towards me, I'm going off.
I mean, you gave me the ammo I needed. I was just going to say, I was like, I think this game needs an out of bounds move where like you breach the perimeter of the time loop and then you die immediately.
I figured the cops would catch us out front, you know?
I mean, I like that. So I'm going to just write it down and say if that happens, then we're going to use it. But
like if you ever get past where you started, so if I ever like walk past my car, I just fucking die.
Yeah, like it's like a video game. Like the map is the map and you can't betray this. But so yeah, you knock Ted over and he actually reaches behind the bar and grabs the shotgun that Patricia keeps hidden under there and points it at you. It says, I'll teach you little brats some respect.
You know what?
Fuck this guy.
Ted. I grab the barrel.
Like dialing 911 over and over.
I grab the barrel and I just stick it right to my head where I've been hit like 80 times tonight. And I'm like, fucking do it, Ted.
We're terrible horror movie characters, you know?
I think this is I think this is a rise above because you're confronting a threat. Even though it might not be in the way that is expected. So at stake, I guess, is one your life, but also in like that's the cost. I guess the benefit would be to psych out Ted.
Yeah. I assume this is base because it's dumb as fuck.
It is pretty dumb. I would also let you do volume because it's a social thing.
No, fuck it. Let's go base because I rolled a 3, so it's a total of 1.
Yeah, you die.
Yeah, he's fucking dope.
Obliterates your brain.
Good.
Johnny or Marsh, how do you die?
Oh, I think it's probably like a panic response from Ted. Ted shoots him, and then I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I start moving that Ted, and Ted just turns and just shoots me as well. You know,
double barrel, baby.
So,
once again, you come to. You're outside the venue as the feedback is ringing for the first band's first song. Everyone's rifling in, and the two of you are convening at the doors.
Yeah, we need to get more clues.
What the
How do we get more clues?
What is going on?
Dying more and then doing the doors move is how you find clues. There's also, let's see, This Is Hell has you
Right.
you can choose to get clues that way.
Dope.
If you'd like, I can. If you'd like, whether you say it or I can, but we can push for more. This Is Hell. It will just make everything a little bit weirder and like trippier. That's just cool. But yeah, one of the pick list things is revealing a clue from that weirdness.
Gotcha.
So.
I'm down for more This Is Hell.
I'm down for more of this hell, and trust me, I am now becoming extremely violent.
Yes.
You know what? You know what? As soon as I'm like, well, I'm not even walking slowly this time. I'm stomping up. And if Marsh is just like, dude, what's going on? I just like push him out of my way. I jump down that first step. I march straight to the bar, and I just turn Ted around and punch him straight in the fucking face. I'm sick of this guy's shit. Like, I know
you in, and I
know I'm in a loop, and I don't care. Like, I'm hitting the Groundhog Day thing where I learned how to play piano, and it's just beating Ted's ass. Like, I don't just like hit him a little bit. Like, I punch him, I grab him, I put him on the ground, and it's one of those things where like it might even get like a little like slow mo in, and like you see the blood like splattering up, and everything, like the sound goes away, and everyone's staring at me like all aghast, and I just turn his face into fucking mush. Like, there's
you just
nothing
go in there
left.
And kill him?
All of my hands are fucking. All of my entire hand is broken. It's to the point where I'm just like beating him with like my fucking wrist because all of my fucking hands are broken. And I just pound this guy into the fucking ground.
I'm gonna have you roll a rise above plus gain.
Oh, I rolled an 8.
So, I mean, this one's pretty obvious. You pummel Ted to death, and you have no hand is your condition. Like, it is like, yeah, just a bag of shrapnel at this point.
I'm gonna write super broken hand.
Marsh, I'll have you do a This Is Hell because you're just watching. Like, you're aware. You've this is your 4th loop or whatever, and you just watched Johnny push past you, go in, and just beat the living shit out of Ted. It's still fucking weird though. Like, no time loop or not, that's just a weird dissonant thing for you to have witnessed. So describe how this is even more weird than we think.
I mean, I feel like watching this happen is just so, in like this setting is so surreal. And like all the faces turn towards us, and I just see them as like blank, just like blank faces. Everyone's turned towards us, and the only person with a face other than me is Johnny, and everyone else is just like they're just not even real,
Yeah. Dope. Roll plus base.
I rolled a 4 minus 1, which is 3, which is incredibly low. I'm actually impressed with how low that is.
So you're going to have another presence distortion. You can't repeat one that you've done before, so I'm the one is
presence off. Presence distortion. Okay, let's do... Oh, I'm gonna do some kind of hate. One of the members of your group is getting on your nerves. Describe who and how, then confront them. If they reconcile, you both get +1 volume. If they double down, I get +1 base, or sorry, +1 gain, -1 base, and they get +1 to any stat. So I'm like frustrated with Johnny and his like just going on a murder spree in this loop because I'm scared, I'm confused, and I grab Johnny. I'm like, you get a hold of yourself. We need to get out of this. We can't keep doing this.
Yeah. I mean, but who gives a fuck?
Well, I do. I don't want to keep doing this. I don't want to deal with this. What the fuck is going on?
Listen, we're just gonna fucking like, and I'm like screaming at this point in Marcia's face. Like, we're just It's gonna happen again and again and a fucking again, dude.
Wait, so you're doubling down?
Oh, hardcore. Yeah.
So
You're gonna get
Hunter,
+1 to these stat, buddy.
yeah, you get +1 of anything.
I get
so
gain?
you get +1 anything, Ryan, and then Hunter, you get +1 gain and -1 base.
So I have -2 the base now, which is good.
I'm also -2 base, but I can gain +1 in something. I'm gonna gain +1 in I'm gonna say gain. I push him off me with my non-broken hand. Or with my dominant broken hand, and just realize it's just like mush pressing against him and like scream in pain. And I turn around and look at like everybody looking at us.
I think the band stops playing, like they stopped playing. You kind of didn't notice. And everyone's just like booing at you when you see Napalm sort of just like separate the crowd and come at you, and like muscles cocked, ready to fucking drag you out of here.
I mean, I graphically murdered a man. I hope people are doing more than booing, but honestly, they probably have had the cell phones out, so I'm viral on the internet already.
I did bring a landline into this, so I was like, is this now? Good. But American Legion would still definitely have a landline.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally. Yeah. You know what? I grab my brass knuckles out of my pocket and I swing on him.
All right, let's rise above.
Cool. I'm +3 this time, which is wild. So please roll okay. Please roll okay. I rolled a 10 + 3. So okay. 13.
You just one shot Napalm,
yeah.
like
I
right
hate him, like,
eyes.
I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah, he just like Looney Tunes style falls backwards like a plank. And so because you rolled over 12, you get a special treat.
Special treat.
So I think the entire crowd now, instead of booing, they're silent. They are like waiting for you to sort of like capture this moment, right? Like you can address the minions beneath you. Everyone's sort of almost like ceding respect. You've taken down Napalm, like the sort of de facto pit leader.
Yeah.
And this is the sort of your like vague coronation. Like what do you do to sort of seize this moment?
So everyone's staring at me and like kind of like enraptured by the takedown. Wait, is Napalm dead?
I don't know. He's definitely blacked out. Like at the very least, just one hit knock. Do you want to kill him?
No, not especially. I mean, I think this is horrifying enough as it is. I look around and I'm like, just stop looking at us,
I think immediately, like almost sitcom style, like the band starts playing, everyone turns 180 degrees and just acts like nothing has happened.
Okay, so this is hell. Like,
so we're in hell.
There's no way someone gets like brutally beaten to a pulp and everyone's just like, dope. All right, back to the show.
I will also say, since we went right into some bloodshed, we didn't roll for doors, which is where you find clues. If you do want to like take this moment to sort of convene.
Why don't we back away from all of it and go back to kind of like standing out front, basically, just like, okay, kind of got away with that one.
Yeah.
And then let's
kind of got away with that one.
Did I died last time, so I do the doors roll, right?
Yes.
Okay, and what am I rolling with my doors?
So you're supposed to sort of like have a chat about like what you learned or what you think is going on. This is distinct from where Eagles Dare move, which we haven't tried yet because we're lacking some clues, but where Eagles Dare has you like coming up with your solution, right? Like this is like, I think this is blank and we get out by blank. Doors is more like theorizing with your friend and trying to figure out what's going on, and then based on your roll,
Right.
hopefully I'll give you some clues.
Okay. So
listen, I think this is satanic, man.
I'm like cradling my hand because the adrenaline's gone now and it hurts so fucking bad. Just my flesh bag of splinters. I don't know. Listen, I don't know, but it's a static people. Like, we know what they fucking do. We know that they show up. We know that they get into the venue and then they're just gone when we got in. So is there somewhere else they could have gone? Is there a back fucking room?
I think they're demonic spirits, and I think they're possessing people.
I don't know. When I got hit, I saw everybody as just like blurry, like light. Did you see everyone there also weird?
Yeah, I saw them all have no face, and they didn't feel real to me.
I saw them all have like a blurry face, and they didn't feel real.
So wait, we're now close to the time that those things come through the door, right?
Before I address that, I will say let's roll the doors move to see if you learn a new clue. I think you could use volume. I mean, base is the most instinctive. Actually, it says the player who triggered your death should roll with an appropriate ability. The appropriate ability is just sort of like thinking, I guess, or like actually you went in guns a-blazing. I think gain is an appropriate ability to that. Like, you're solving things with your fists this round.
We are.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
And I want you to get clues. So
I was gonna say I rolled a 7. Okay. Which is great, because if I had to roll base or volume, it would have been a failure at a 6. But since I rolled gain, that's a 9.
So a 9 is a hit. You find a clue. The clue this time, you're gonna hear, like, as you're sort of like in this lull of your conversation, of your theorizing, the music sort of like cuts through, and you can hear everyone in the crowd like singing along to this chorus where the lyrics are, "I feel everything way too much," which is something that you've said in a prior loop. Like, you immediately recognize it as like, again, not like a deja vu, but like past coincidence. So you have an additional clue now, two clues. If you want, so no pressure, but where Eagles Dare, you're rolling 2d6 minus 6 plus clues to try to get out of the loop. The game sort of expects that you might have accrued like 4 or 5 by this point, or not by this point. I don't think you're doing anything wrong, but just
are you saying we suck at this, Adam?
Before you're going to successfully break the time loop, you would want 4 or 5 clues, but you can try it before then. You're just going to, if you fail, you're going to trigger more past distortions, and that might bring your character closer to like the end, like not just the time loop end, but like you might not get out of here.
Gotcha. What did the voices say when it came through? Like, this doesn't feel real.
I feel everything way too much.
Good reference. You know what? I'm gonna attempt Where Eagles Dare.
Cool. So yeah, come to some consensus about what might be happening to you. I think your leading theory, which is good, is that something satanic is going on.
Yeah,
then you're
my
gonna
character
roll
is like a pseudo Christian, so I'm like, I'm gonna
perfect.
lean into that.
So you're gonna roll 2d6 minus 6 and plus 2 because you have 2 clues. So 2d6 minus 4.
I rolled a 5 minus 4 would be 1.
Dope.
Okay, so on a 6 minus, you are wrong. The weird forces at play are going to make your life hell today.
Good.
Trigger a past distortion. So Hunter, I think this is your first past one.
It is. So that is just the other night. Narrate a moment that occurred in the last week where you felt like shit. Other players add details on how this event was supernatural. -1 to base or volume.
So your base is at its minimum already, so you'll have to do -1 volume.
Oh my god, it's so fucking stupid. Yeah, a weird occurrence that happened previously to Marsh. Oh, I remember I was, in church on the east side, and I don't know, something happened. I'm having a hard time with this one for some reason. Anyone got one? Anyone got a?
This is just something supernatural that happened.
It's something that happened that sucked, and I still feel shitty about. And then you're supposed to tell me a supernatural thing. I'm just blanking.
So you were in church.
I have to go with that. I just usually go with the first thing that comes into my head. So
no, I think that's good. Let's say maybe you were at confessional.
Okay,
you were confessing to like maybe getting in a maybe starting a fight at a show or
Catholic. Yeah.
Drinking beer,
doing all the shit that you do tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was at confession, and something like slammed on the door really hard. And it freaked me out, but the priest didn't hear it or react to it.
Nope.
Cool.
Ryan, how is that? How do you add a sort of supernatural? I get, the slam is probably your gateway, but
I think
something additionally supernatural happens.
I think that churches have PA systems like they do, like to broadcast like prayer and shit. Yeah. I think it got staticky. Like I think that it has like a squeal and a static and stuff like that, like a white noise kind of like broke through, and the PA wasn't even on, like they weren't talking or anything. It just like cut into static and stuff like right as the thing banged on the door.
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're outside the show, bloody hands, limp hand.
My assumption is the cops roll up because there's no way Patricia didn't call 911 after I just.
She was calling 911 before, and they're definitely rolling up the second you sort of take a breath outside, and because of this, because of your role where it said the forces at play make your life hell today, I think you're gonna see, a couple squad car, 4 squad cars roll up, and they all get out, and they draw weapons, they're at their cars and yelling at you to freeze. But in addition to that, you see some of these sort of ambiguous staticky people get out of these vehicles as well and start running towards you. And again, cool. An attempt to sort of pile on top of you.
Well, I just look at Johnny and I'm just like,
hug it. Yeah. Well, you can whip out your Dave Dictor and at least take one cop down with you, right?
That's very true. I'm going to go ahead and use my Dave Dictor move, and I'm going to go ahead and just take out, clothesline one cop as they're coming in on us,
Perfect. Yeah, just obliterates.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna die. I feel like there's almost not even a reason to roll for all of this. I feel like we go into a slow motion hail of bullets. Because I already got a broken hand and this loop's fucked already, so let's just reset it.
This is a rise above with -12.
Yeah. So I'm just if you're cool with that, I say that we just go down in hell of bullets. And guess where the killing blow was for me? Guess where the bullet hit? Right fucking there. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to put down some of these other murders because I killed Ted. That's a body count. Did we kill Napalm at all in either of the last 2 loops?
I'm gonna go with yes. We also have.
I didn't mean to, but
we have the dissolved static person.
Oh, is the static person part of the body count too?
I think so.
Okay.
And then and then a dead cop right now.
Yeah. Well, and then they killed Chili, right?
Yes.
when they choked him. Yeah. And then we're calling the static people part of the body count. So yeah. So damn, we're now at 13 deaths already.
Good. I'm glad that you remembered that.
Yeah.
It's imperative. Yeah. So you die. We're back at doors. We're back outside the venue, and the feedback's ringing.
So who's gonna roll?
I'm just like,
I think
just because I walk up this time from the outside. Like, I'm not slow on the fast. I'm just determined, and I just like get to Marsh because I want to talk about what we think this shit is.
I think since Marsh died first in that telling, we'll have you roll the doors move.
Cool.
I mean, you just did that whole one together. I don't necessarily think that you need to like chat and figure out what it was. Maybe Marsh, you can relay the fact that you can just go like, I guess it's not Satan. Yeah, like,
I mean,
you figured out that much somehow. Insofar as like, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Orion,
no, I was just looking at the fuck around move. I feel like we could fuck around and get more items and stuff a little bit too if things get maybe not like violently weird, but just like we do dumb shit. Like we could do that too. So here, listen. I don't think it's Satan. I don't think you think it's Satan. I think it's these like
it's aliens now. So
you fucking would. I think it's some like weird eldritch bullshit. Like I think, you know what I think we need to do? I think we need to get to the van. I like see what's in the van before the static people come out, whether it's in the van or in the trailer. I feel like everything gets weird when they roll up.
I think we need to watch them enter, and see where they go.
All right, let's fucking listen. Here's the thing. If shit gets weird, just fucking kill yourself in game.
Hey man, that's a sin.
You come to me, I'll kill you.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I rolled a 9 for doors, and I assume it's volume for talking. I'm a -1, so an 8.
Okay. You get a new clue. So let's see. You notice someone at the show who wasn't there on previous loops.
Oh.
It's just sort of this taller person who sort of like, makes it easy for you to notice them in the crowd. They're sort of androgynous, shoulder length, curly hair, flannel shirt. They're pushing around in the pit, but they're not like pit bossing or anything. They're not super swinging elbows. They're just like,
I don't recognize them.
No, you haven't seen them from prior, or like you don't remember them from prior shows, and you don't remember them from prior Tonight Show.
Right. I'm like, I look at Johnny. I'm like, hey, is that a new person?
I'm gonna be 100 with you. I don't know.
Yeah, you've taken a lot of shots to the head during this whole experience.
Yeah.
So let's check.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna talk to him. So
listen, why don't you go talk to them, and I'm just gonna post up. I'm gonna get a beer and then get the fuck away from Ted, and just watch the back doors because we only got like 2 songs before those things would come in through the doors.
Right.
Let's do that. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get a beer. I'm gonna post up in the. Listen, I'm in the back corner.
Mm-hmm. You always get my back, brother.
Yeah, I got your back. Worst case scenario, I'm just stage diving and resetting this shit. Okay.
I feel like this is Johnny and his least favorite member of his little group of friends hanging out, like
everyone's
like
canceled.
Yeah. So
right.
So Marsh is gonna walk up to the tall, androgynous, curly haired new person at the show.
Just Slenderman in a wig.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
I like
they're like having a good time. I
like walk up, I stand next to them, like, what's up?
Yeah. They just like, they're listening to the music, they're paying you no mind.
Are you new?
What?
Have you been here before?
Yeah, dude. And then just like kind of like turn their attention back to the band.
Do I notice anything weird about them?
Not inherently, no.
Do they look like an angel? No. I look up and was like, hey, do you want a drink?
They show you they're X'd up.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, me too, man. I was just testing you, you know.
Johnny, while you're at the bar, you hear Ted grumble something and tip his peeber at you.
Nah, I'm good, bro. It's all you.
Come on.
Uh,
Come on.
nah, man, I'm good. Hey, can I get that peeber patty? I got something. Thanks.
Yeah, she cracks the can open and hands it to you.
Thanks. All right.
You can see Ted kind of like leaning as if he's going to get up off a stool.
No, I just turn the other way and just walk away. I just walk away. Walk away. I walk away. Yeah, I go wallflower the fuck in the back away from everybody. I'm watching Marsh and I'm watching the back door. Like I imagine it's like this and the stage is up here and I'm back here and there's like a door like to the side of the stage. I actually imagine over here.
Yeah, very close to the stage.
Yeah. And I just watching Napalm do Napalm stuff and I'm watching Marsh.
I was just going to say, when you watch Napalm do Napalm stuff, he's going to like mule kick over towards Johnny and this tall person.
I am aware of Napalm doing this.
Because that's what he did to me.
Yeah.
You basically have seen this move happen before. Do you just sort of like let it impact, or do you want to try to evade it?
No, I think I want to use gain. I think I want to like try to like show how tough I am and just like tank the hit, you know?
Okay.
Like every muscle in my body tightens, you know?
Yeah. Go ahead and rise above.
7 + 2, 9.
So you're able to stand your ground, but it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to gain an additional condition from from this incident, whether it's from the impact or not.
We need to think about the good old days at some point, because I'm
concussed and still have a broken as fuck hand. Like I'm just like cradling it inside my jacket. And I realize that it's
you
still
can like
broken
hold
as
your
fuck.
drink in it, but it's like stinging. Like you can.
I can tell you right now, I cannot. If it's as broken as it was before, it's literally splinters.
Not, but it feels like it is.
Oh, dope.
Like you can look at it and it's your hand, but it feels fucked.
Yeah, cool. All right. So like I have the feeling of it being super broken, but it's not actually broken. And I'm also a little bit concussed. So like I think my ears are still ringing a little bit. Like I'm not full concussion, but like I have a fucking pounding fucking headache.
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, the beer helps.
In fact, I'll have you do a This Is Hell as you're sort of surveying the scene. Double entendre. The scene of the narrative and the scene of the show. What about this is weirder than we think it is?
I think, am I allowed to just kind of like reiterate and add on shit that's already been weird?
Yeah. This is sort of like a GM full move. Like this is allowing you to sort of guide the weirdnesses with me rather than make me tell you the story.
Interesting. So,
cool.
As I'm kind of like stumbling-ish, like I do like slip a little bit, like walking away from Ted. I glare at the corner of the bar, and I go over to my wallflower spot, and then that kind of concussed feeling just kind of starts to like come back a little bit. Like the pain in my hand, it starts to kind of like make me feel sick a little bit. It's making like nauseous. And like I take a sip of my beer and when I look up again, like it's like the people are back to that kind of like white glow with the blurry faces. And like I see like napalm. I see a shape hit Marsh. And I also see like a tall shape next to Marsh, but it's not like a white glowy person with like a like blur face. It's a static person.
Cool.
And that,
Perfect.
I mean, that's the androgynous person. It's like a tall, staticky person.
Great. So roll plus base.
Fuck off.
Wow.
11 minus 2 is 9. I got a 6 and a 5.
So you still choose one from the pick list here.
The GM reveals a clue that emerges from the weirdness along with a new threat. The weirdness alters your sense of self and describes how you manifest change, then move a stat to a different stat. You realize something you could have done to alter the loop. You die and take +1 to the doors roll. My stats are fine. I feel like I either want another clue or I want to die. Okay, so the options is I get a clue, but a threat comes out, or I can get a +1 to a door loop after I die and potentially get a clue when we get back around.
Yeah, in theory.
I'm going to go with that one. Because I want to tell Marsh about the static person.
Cool. So we'll do your first, but both of you, how do you die in this moment? I guess you're electing to die, Ryan, or Johnny.
Yeah.
So, do with that what you will. And then Marsh, yours might be an accident that's coincidentally at the same time or whatever. So yeah, Johnny first.
Yeah, Johnny first. Yeah.
Yeah. I already told you that if shit gets weird or whatever, like, let's just reset the fucking loop. Yeah. I walk over to the bar. I push Patty the way. I pull the shotgun out from behind the bar. And I eat the barrel.
Oh my god. What you do with it? Sorry, I was laughing.
Oh, I eat a bullet. I just yum in my tummy. Just
great. I like hear the gunshot and I run over, and as I'm running, I literally just trip and hit my head.
Perfect.
Like we're in that part of the movie where that's just what everyone, where it's just like fuck it, like just die, fall down the stairs.
Turn them. So you get +1 to your doors roll this time.
Dope.
So
I'm jogging back up to the front this time, and I'm like,
did you add our 2 deaths to the counter?
Yes. Oh yeah. We're up to 15 already. We're halfway for what I did. So if I got to add more, we'll get there. But I feel like we're getting there. I feel like we're fucking figuring this out. Because listen, Marsh, the person you were talking to is a fucking static person. When I was standing in the back, everything got weird again. I saw the same, like, everyone is not real, kind of like they're not static, but they're just like light, right? But you were talking to a tall person and they were a static person.
Really?
It's the fucking static people. I should have waited a little bit and saw the static people come in, but I feel like that's what we should do this time, is just like,
so we're agreed it's aliens.
I don't know what it is, but I can tell you right now, I want to see what's in the van or in the trailer, because shit gets weird. Like when they pull, can I just assume in my head, and I'm retconning the story a little bit, that like by the time I got the beer and went to the back, the van had probably pulled up in the back, and that's when shit got weird. I feel like the presence of the van pulling up is what makes things gets weird, or that's what I think at least. So like I didn't see them come in, but like I imagine that they pulled up, like all the people turned like weird to me, and then I ate a bullet right as they were like coming in or something.
I would say that's probably more like a where eagles dare like theory that you want to test.
Oh yes, can I do
first? Well, yeah, first have you roll the doors. You're going to roll +1 because of the move you just did.
Okay. What am I doing for my roll for that?
I guess what do you do to sort of like seek a clue You're talking it out, so I think that's a good volume.
Dope.
If
-1.
that's-
Okay.
Yeah. So +1, it's a net zero. Oh no, what happened?
And
I
you
rolled
rolled
a
a
6.
15. Yeah.
I rolled a 6.
You rolled a 6.
Yeah.
I think you're just sort of floundering, you're just sort of like throwing spaghetti at the wall with your ideas. I'll still let you do a Where Eagles Dare if you'd like.
Okay, so fuck. I mean, obviously I still think it's a static people, but like whatever I think like was off. Yeah, I'm just gonna do we have a +3 now. I'll do a Where Eagles roll. Or Where
Yeah,
Eagles
so
Dare.
it's a 2d6 -3, since it's -6 +3.
And I have to get a 10+, so it's impossible right now.
It's impossible, but you can get a 7 to 9, which is seeing the way out. Or you can get a 6- and you'll trigger a past distortion, which is sort of progressing towards an end state. A -1, but it is an end state.
Gotcha.
And you don't have to do this, but it was just like, since you were doing some theorizing before, it's there if you want it.
Okay, no, I did. I rolled a 9, but what am I adding to my Where Eagles Dare?
-3.
Or is it just flat roll?
It's a minus, so it's -6 and then plus your number of clues, which is 3. So you end up with a 6. You
All right.
are wrong. The weird forces at play are going to make your life hell today. Trigger a past distortion. So since you've done just the other night already, the next one is the Hymn Unholy.
Okay, describe where you were the night of last year's show and how fate decided you wouldn't attend. Take the condition rattled.
So just as a sort of reminder, this show tonight is a benefit for the survivors and victims of last year's benefit show, the hardcore show,
Right.
the Mosh Macabre, where the Hymn Unholy performed. Not a lot is known about it. We did hear some rumors about the band playing an occult hymn that melted the minds of the attendees, or that the venue is built on top of a reliquary, or the ashes of the venue are being sold around town as powerful hallucinogens. We still don't know if any of those are true or false explicitly, but you were planning to go to that show and somehow you did not attend. So what was it that caused you to miss that show and be here today?
I feel like my piece of shit car broke down. Like I was on the way to the show and it broke down like on the way there, but I was already running late again, so it's not like someone could like come after me and like pick me up or whatever like that. And I just sat there waiting for AAA, and they just, by the time I actually got my car up and going again, replacement battery, it like the show had already turned into what it did.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So just that sort of memory, I guess, the reminder that this tonight is a benefit show for that event, that you were obviously lucky. You were fortunate not, it didn't seem fortunate at the time when you were on the side of the road waiting and waiting, but fate sort of protected you that night, and you can kind of feel almost damned by that same fate tonight as you continue to live this loop over and over and just keep experiencing the physical and emotional pain that is dying over and over again.
Nope.
So
Glorious.
yeah, you have the new condition rattled, because just that the dichotomy of saved and damned bouncing around in your head is just making you feel even like less stable than you already were, with your brain getting tossed around your skull.
Cool. Great. So now I'm also discouraged now. So like now what, dude? Like
I don't know, man. And I'd like to sit here take a breath and then think about the good times. Because if we don't look back and laugh here pretty soon, then my character is gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel the same. I feel.
I'll be like, hey man, I know you're feeling down, but remember what it was like when Jessica left you, man, and you picked yourself up, and how much better things were after that.
Fuck off, dude. Why would you say her name, man?
I'm just saying you're better now, man. Things got better. You're happier now. You know?
You know what?
It's
That is
just
true.
like that.
It is just like that, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is just like that.
It's just like that. Yeah, you know what? You know what? You're right. You're fucking right. I'm gonna get rid of my super broken hand.
Right. That's a great choice. Ryan, you get to lose one as well. Or sorry, Hunter, you lose one as well.
Yeah, I erased one. So
Cool.
All right. Hey, listen, let's
So
not
let's go
talk to
watch the
people
door.
this time. Yeah, let's go just watch the door. Let's just watch the door. So we go in. I don't go to the bar. I don't talk to Ted. I don't talk to anyone. I give my $5 to Lex. I turn to the right. I stand against the wall and I wait for the fucking doors for these people to come in the doors.
I think we have one of those time loop tropes too, where we see like Napalm head walking and about to like clock you, and you both just sort of move one step over and they just land on the ground between, because you know everything that's going to happen right now.
Yep.
what number are we on?
I think this is the 5th. I think this is 5.
Okay.
This is either the 5th or you've done 5. I've been keeping track, but I don't remember what direction.
Yeah. It's one of those.
But so yeah, you're just sort of waiting. The show's going on. You do see the tall person in the pit again. You see Ted grumbling and moaning over at the bar. You see all the things that you've grown accustomed to seeing. And as you're sort of waiting in the back, you both feel a hand on your shoulder, and Lexi peeks between you, and she says, like, "Are you guys all right? Like, you're acting kind of weird."
Yeah, we're fine. We're just we're trying to take it easy tonight. We've had too much to drink the past couple of days, and so we're just kind of lounging back here. We had some friends say they were going to come in later, so we're just saving our energy and our ears, you know.
Yeah.
She kind of gives you one of these, like, that is bullshit. I know you guys are those guys. Like, that's not what you do.
I mean, we're all those guys.
We are those guys, but listen, we're trying to take it easy tonight. We don't want any trouble or anything, so.
You don't want trouble.
Yeah.
She goes, okay, well, why don't you make yourselves useful? Help me load in the next band. They're just about to pull up.
Yeah, we were actually just in the middle of a discussion, but when they walk through, we'll know to come out there and help you. So give us a minute.
They're like almost here.
Cool, perfect. Then this will work out great. And I just turn away from her. I start talking to Johnny about something off the top of my head. And I was like, I'm like, yeah, so my mom's really sick. I say very loudly.
Okay. So she rolls her eyes and just heads towards the back.
All you have to do is be the biggest asshole in the room, and sometimes you can just get your.
Yeah. Fuck, dude.
Yeah,
dude,
you see her go out the back door.
That's weird though, because when we went outside multiple times and Lexi never came out.
That's true. Let's keep watching.
Yeah, GM, we're just watching.
As you stay steadfast to my distractions, you see the door open up. It's hard to, it's dim, like the fluorescent lights of the hall are off, and you have like one or two clamp lights illuminating the air quotes stage. This is not like a well lit or well produced event or anything like that by any means. You can see the light or the door swing open. You can see a couple of people come in. And the door sort of slowly swings closed behind them. You can't really make out who it is because the shitty lighting in here and like, right. But yeah, there's a couple people who have just come in, carrying actually not carrying anything, just like coming in, standing towards the back of the wall, like watching the band that's still on stage.
Wait, are those the death agents?
This is the unexpected crossover, the cinematic crossover.
Yeah. Dude,
I wish I'd done that because
yeah. But listen, you don't make the ending, so
yeah, right.
So clearly, we don't see them.
You
Right
can
now,
see like
as
there's just like some
static.
people.
But like we see, they look
hall.
like normal people. That's why we couldn't tell before, right? Like
You can't really tell, like from where you are in the back of the room, like you're just sort of, there's just some people over there.
And they're just standing there.
But I mean, like Marsh, like they don't look like they. That's why we didn't see them before, because when they came through the door, they looked like regular fucking people. Like they don't look like static people, right?
Let's get a little closer. Can we get closer?
Yeah. You don't really notice anything distinct about them at all. They're just sort of the most sort of plain looking people.
Standard. They're NPCs
at a hardcore show.
Right. And there's 9 of them.
Yeah, give or take.
So wait a second.
I want to count. I want to count them and see if there's 9 of them.
Let's say there's like 6 of them.
So I'm like there's only 6 of them.
Yeah, so that means there's only like 3 out. Can we do you think, like, what if we go like help Lexi, but like we go from the front around to the back, not through the doors? We could probably take 3 of them out, or at least one of us could distract 3 of them, and one of us could like try to look in the van in the trailer.
Yeah, let's just go through the front, all the way around back, and see if we can get to the van without being noticed.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, you can kind of, you head towards the front door, and you're caught in this little traffic jam as Patricia is sort of like guiding Ted, who can barely keep himself up, slowly towards the front. She's helping him leave. And he kind of like notices you're right behind him and drunkenly mumbles something at you, like indecipherably, just some of these guys. And it's one of those weird things where like they're just taking up so much, you can't like get through them, you can't get around them super easy, and they're not going fast.
Can I say that this is a great time to make a "This is hell" move?
Perfect. Yeah.
Because this is hell.
There's no reason we shouldn't be able to walk around these people, but for somehow we're just like,
we just can't get around them.
You're just like right at. So yeah, you know, like all the halls have like the front door and then like a small staging area, and then like the next door, they're like at that one. So like you just can't, they're in the door frame basically, like just taking forever. But yeah, hit me with the "This is hell."
5 minus 2. So I'm gonna mark a presence distortion.
Cool.
I can't do the same one twice, right?
Correct.
What happens when you have all of them marked?
Then you start doing past distortions.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna pick "Wild in the Streets."
Perfect.
And I think I'm going to use that to just like shove through what we're currently dealing with.
Yeah.
In like almost like an aggressively panicky way. You know, I'm just like, what is going? And just like moving through them and going out the front door. And I'm just like,
Patricia,
I grab
like,
Johnny
scoffs.
and bring Johnny with me, you know?
Patricia scoffs, and Ted kind of gets knocked over, like not on his, he just like falls over. He doesn't die or nothing, but, and he yells at something that you can't understand again.
And I'm just like, whatever.
And you're outside. So Wild in the Streets, you get the hell out of the venue and you stir some shit up.
That sounds exactly like what we're doing. We're going around back.
Describe how causing a little trouble brings the 2 of you closer. I mean, you're a 2-piece. This is a 2-player group, so everything you do is bringing you closer, I think.
But fuck Ted, dude. That's right.
Yeah, I think we're both now on the fuck Ted train. You know, like
Yeah.
before
Piece of
Ryan
shit.
really had an issue with him, and I'm just like, I just don't like the guy. And now I'm like, no, fuck that guy. I totally get why you beat the life out of him. That one
Yeah.
time.
That was
Uh,
so like. All right.
Dude,
So
I'm still laughing about the breakup with Jessica thing, and you immediately were like, why would you even say her name? Sorry, not to backtrack, but yeah. So
yeah.
you're outside. Sorry, right, Ryan, go ahead.
No, yeah, we're outside. We're cruising to the back.
Yeah.
Like what? We want to be sneaky though.
So you're circling, out front, and you see Chili coming down the side of the building, like, my dudes, what's going on? Like, not in an accusatory way, but in like a cool way.
oh,
They didn't
Chili,
kill Chili.
You see anything weird?
Nah, man, nah. Like what?
Like people who don't look like people.
Gives you one of these, and pulls out this little bag from one of their many interior pockets. And goes like, "Did I sell some of this to you already?"
No, never mind, man.
Not yet.
You, Johnny, this is not the shitty dime bag. This is something else.
Is this the ashes of the former group?
He says, yeah, the bunch of, this is like the last bag I have of this stuff, but it's fucking weird. The got it from the show last year, the one that the fucking got fucked up?
we know.
We know what you're fucking talking about.
So
It's what this show tonight is about. We're doing a. Yeah, go ahead.
That's
Sam.
literally why we're here.
Look. You guys are my boys, so you guys are those guys, and I know that. So, what if can we share the last bit of this list stuff?
Sure.
So he's like, or they're all stoked. They like scoop out some of this like ash, and they're like rubbing it on the space under their nose and like in their nostrils, and just hands you the baggie of ash.
Thanks. I take it and I walk away.
Thanks, Chili, and I follow him.
I'm gonna call that rise above that you're trying to avoid a threat that is this trip. Not, I wouldn't call it a forced trip, but an encouraged trip.
Yeah. Okay, can I
Sorry, go ahead.
I was thinking volume or tone, because volume could be social, but tone could be like trying to get away quick.
Yeah, either one.
I rolled a 10 and my tone gives me an 11.
Nice.
Yeah, you slink right past, like you don't even like shoulder check or anything. You just kind of like slink right past Chili, and they're too fucked up to understand. So they like turn, and you've taken 5-6 strides before they're like, "Yo, wait, what?"
Yeah.
You can add that bag of ash to your item list too.
Concert ash. Boom. All right. I'm on a mission. Like I really want to just like get to, I want to see what's in either the van or the trailer. Like I know one is wrong. Like I realized that the last time. Like one is not right. So it has to be the other, but I don't think I know which one is wrong and which one is right yet.
Cool. So the van's there, and you see 3 of these static people like stood around it. You do see like Chili's burnouts in their usual positions, sort of black out by the dumpsters.
I wonder if Chili wasn't waiting there when they got there this time because we didn't go out the back. So we didn't stop him to give us a drink or something. So maybe he started wandering around, because otherwise they killed him every other time, right?
Well, that one time, for sure.
Well, every time we saw, you know what I mean? Like,
I only saw Chili die once.
well, you were fighting your way out the first time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we could either try to take out the static people, or we could send, or one of us could distract while the other one checks out the van and the trailer. Do we want to try to fight them, or do we want to try to like distract?
Listen, if you try to distract them, I will break into that van.
All right. How fast are you?
Not.
I'm fast. So do you want to maybe like fight them because you're stronger than me, and I'll quickly get to the van and peruse through it?
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Because you have the brass knuckles too, which you haven't used this loop, which gives you a +1.
I like immediately slip the brass knuckles on. I'm like, let's do it. And I like want to run up and just like falcon punch one of them and kind of keep moving a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
So
like move towards the back, like punch one, move towards the back door immediately.
yeah. Let's have you rise above, see what happens.
Okay.
You roll in plus gain.
I rolled double sixes.
Shit. Okay. So you like blindside one of these static people. I guess, I mean, you don't know where their front is or anything, but they're.
I'll take your word for it, though.
Yeah. Yes. And then, sorry, what was the rest of your plan post punch?
Like punching and then moving towards the back door so that they like follow me away from the van.
Okay. So that worked. Like you grab their attention, you like demand their attention, and you also get to the back door before they like really have formed their response. So you have two of these things kind of like they don't necessarily have a plan of attack. They're just sort of coming towards you. But you've also created enough distance between them and you that you're like momentarily safe from their
nice. I'm
pursuit.
like, come on.
Yeah. Johnny, what are you doing in this moment?
I want to sneak up, like just crouch to, like if they're running and they're at the back door, to the other side, and I want to look in one of the windows into the van and see what's going on.
Okay, let's call this this is hell. You see it like obviously a van interior. I think you see almost like residual static, like it's like the shape of the bench seats, the shapes of the cup holders, the radio, they're almost like outlined in static. They're like difficult to find detail in, to find like defining character traits in.
Interesting.
How so is like it?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, so everything's all like static. It almost feels like you said, like the entire interior is kind of static, like leftover from. Do I feel like they're seats, but they're just coated in static almost, or do I feel like they are static?
That's a good question. So because I want you to do a This Is Hell, and make the van stuff extra weird, I guess you can answer that question.
Okay.
And
so here we go. So I feel like this is where I'm going to go with this. I feel like it's almost that they are static, but that it's from back to front in the van. So like the front seats almost seem corporeal, and it's almost like the back of them are static. But once you get to the very back of the van, I feel like when I look into the back of the van, I don't even see like the back doors. I just see static. And like I start to feel that I'm still concussed, So like that feeling, that whole like fugue state hits me again, and everything gets all weird and muted and kind of like
It's like
in
a buzzing
movies they
noise in
make
the
it,
background.
yeah, in movies they make it like blurry and kind of like overlay like frames kind of like tilting a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that makes me think that it's coming from the trailer and like kind of like emanating out because the back of the van is more so like in that concussed kind of state where I feel like I'm about to pass out. I want to like actually walk to the back and like
So
flip open.
hold on, before you do that, you got to roll for the This Is Hell.
Oh yeah.
The fallout, I guess, of the sort of observation you make, which is plus base, of course.
I rolled a 9 minus 2 is 7.
Great. So you get to choose one from the pick list. Again, that's clue, stat change, or +1 to doors.
Okay, but I realize if I take the bottom one, I realize something I could have done to alter the loop. So that kind of gives me like a free clue in and of itself, right? Like I could change.
In theory, it's not a sure thing, I guess. Like because last time we rolled doors, you didn't get a clue.
Okay, so you tell me if I go too far with this. I want to go the GM reveals a clue that emerges from the weirdness, and tell me again, I can retcon this, but I want to stumble to the back of the trailer, flip open the trailer, and then the GM could reveal a clue and a new threat.
The flying saucers in the back.
So the clue is going to be it's like it's a guitar on a stand. It's not in a case. It's not there's all the other like there's a couple cases still like on the perimeter of the trailer, but it's almost like staged for some reason, this guitar. And it is like one of those clear acrylic guitars that like Dave Grohl plays, like you can see through it. And you can hear it like feeding back. Like when you're looking at it, you can hear like as if it was plugged in the sound of it. And the threat that comes with it is the other two static creatures who are chasing Marsh hear that ringing as well and start bolting towards you.
Dope. I feel like that's a big fucking. That's a lot. And we're at 4 clues. Where I just want to decide if I'm just gonna let myself get off real quick or not.
I mean, if we do that, then we can make a doors roll and try to get one more clue. You know,
that's my thought. Yeah. Is like, you can also learn something about the events of last year's horrible show. Yeah, and just hope for a higher roll on it. So God, what can I?
So I'll like retcon, or I guess like rules adapt this as well. So I said if we go out of bounds, that's like an instant death. Right. I think if you choose to die, that's like a different thing than just getting killed. I think choosing to die, I'll give like a +1 to doors whenever you do the bit, you know.
Cool. Gotcha. So like when we actively are like, I just want to get back to figure shit out, we actually get a bonus instead of like accidentally being killed kind of in the way of trying to figure shit out.
Because I'm also seeing, and this is not a slight towards any of the three of us, but I think in a time loop movie, the loops themselves end up shorter.
Yeah.
Once they start, like you said, like we've seen Groundhog's Day, we've seen Happy Death Day. Once they start to get the hang of it, they're sort of becoming in control of the time loop. So I want that power shift for you. I want you to be able to decide, okay, we're going to die so we can have this advantage going forward.
Okay, yeah. So I decide to die, so as these static things come at me, like I just throw up 2 fucking birds and like have them like crash into me, and then
Perfect.
you know.
And I watch it happen, and I'm like, fuck it. And I throw the brass knuckles down, and I'm just like, to the one who's coming at me.
Cool. Yeah.
All right.
I think in terms of like movie framing or whatever, we just sort of
Right.
see the static kind of like come in from both sides until it's like taking over the whole screen. And then it
Nice.
sort of like fades to white and fades back to the outside of the venue.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that Adam Vass film, you know?
I wish.
Yeah. I'm running back up to the beginning. And like I want to relay everything. And can
Yeah, 'cause I didn't see the
relay
guitar.
that as like
Yeah, of course.
what's up?
I didn't see the guitar, so
Yeah. So I say that like I think this is fucking it. I think this guitar thing, whether it's the static people or not, like may either it's them or the guitar made them this. I think the guitar is some type of like eldritch, staticky,
Eldritch
like
guitar.
playing thing that's like it's got distortion. It's not even fucking plugged in. Like I think that's the fucking key. Whether we have to destroy it or my assumption is not play it because we'll end up like these people. I think we fucking destroy the fucking guitar. And can I doors that?
Yeah, doors before
First.
and then
And
doors
then
first to see if you
Eagles.
get doors to see if you get another clue, and then eagles to see if you're correct.
Okay.
And you get +1.
I get a +1 to doors. Can I get and is it tone too? Because I use tone to
Perfect.
like do the roll, so I get like a +2 to this.
I call that a yes.
You call that a yes. What happened? So here's a question. On the doors roll, it says on a 7 to 9, there's a complication, and on a 12 plus, you learn something. What happens if you get a 10 or 11?
Oh, it's just a hit. You find a clue, and I tell you what it is. Like, so a hit is a
anything
7
above
plus.
a 7 is a clue.
Yes.
But from 7 to 9, there's a complication, but only on a crit, basically. Is...
You learn additional stuff. So a 10, 11 is you find the clue.
And nothing
It's
bad
sort of like-
happens.
Yes. Yeah.
I rolled a 9.
Plus your 2?
Plus, 11. So, like, that doesn't really
11.
do anything different than a...
Well, there's no complication at least.
Yeah.
So, you get another clue. I'm gonna say, this time as you're outside the venue, the feedback's starting. The people are rifling in. You're talking to one another. You see the tall person, like among the crowd. Like you notice them this time going into the show, and they're wearing a t-shirt for the Hymn Unholy, which is the band that was supposed to headline last year's show, the one that went awry, and it's got all these weird like it's like it's a like the metal shirts I was sharing in the chat before, like indistinguishable, but you know the logo because it's a band that's historic to your community and it's covered in sigils and shit. So I'll say Hymn Unholy t-shirt is the next clue.
And maybe this is just like a theory bit. No, this is my Eagles and roll. This is my Eagles roll theory bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. So when you attempt to break the time loop, you discuss the clues you've collected as a group and you come to some kind of consensus about what is happening to you. Then you roll 2d6 minus 6 plus number of clues, which at this point we're at 5. So 2d6 minus 1. And then you see if that theory is correct.
Yep. Okay. So here's my theory based on all the clues and everything that we got. Right? Here's our clues. Static voices over the PA. Static people isn't a clue, but that's happening. Static is a big deal. I feel everything...
For the sake of time and play, I think static people just like is established as a clue at this point.
Oh, dope.
So
Okay.
So we'll call it 6 clues because I think that's something we've leaned on, to the extent that it's like not insignificant.
Static people. Okay, so it's actually just a flat 2d6 roll. We just have to get a 10 or above. So here's the clues: staticky over the PA. Then we had the static people roll up. Then we saw this tall person in the show, and now we're seeing them go into the show with a Holy Hymn shirt on. We saw the guitar in the trailer that's emitting some type of static stuff. I think here's the thing. I think that I know the hair is longer and they shaved the beard. I think that is the lead singer / guitarist of the Holy Hymn.
You mean the hymn
I'll bet you the Hymn Unholy, and I'll bet you any money, any fucking money, that guitar was the guitar he was playing last year.
Cool, you rolling for it?
Yeah, let's roll.
And maybe, and this is just this is not what I think, but like if this is successful, maybe in the background, maybe this static group that pulls up is like a band that showed up late after everything went to shit, and the only thing that they found before the cops showed up was that fucking guitar, and they rolled out. And when the cops got there, everything was just ash and bullshit, and everything was gone. But that band found that fucking guitar and like became this like weird eldritch staticky whatever. The guitar corrupted them, and now they're coming to the fucking the site. Yeah. And the maybe even like the lead singer was like dead but was holding the guitar, so he didn't fully like whatever. And like that's the thing. That's my thought, is that it's a guitar from the lead singer / guitarist of the Hymn Unholy from last year's fucking concert. What do you fucking think, dude?
I still think it's aliens.
All right, so this is just a flat 2d6 roll.
Yeah. If you get a 7 or more, then you get out, in theory.
In theory.
All right, here we go. I rolled a 6 and a 5.
Wow. Okay, so you figured a way out. Describe how you break the time loop, then move to loadout. So because you got a 10 plus, like your theory is correct. What do you do to end this repetition?
I was gonna drag the dice roller up on the screen so people believed me, but I'm not gonna add a source because it just makes everything weird. I'm positive this is fucking it, dude. I'm positive this is fucking it, and I think that we have to destroy the fucking guitar.
Cool. We do.
All right. Can we just like narrate how we?
Yeah, you just go for it, and then I will. So like, yeah, talk about. I do want to hear how you destroy it, just for funsies.
Yeah.
But then we'll do the last move, which is called loadout. Now,
there's only one correct way to destroy a guitar. So
obviously,
yeah.
So here's the thing. I think we need to smash it, right? But I feel like just picking it up and smashing it isn't going to break it.
I feel like picking up and smashing is exactly what's going to break it.
Okay. My thought, and maybe it's a bit much, is you distract Patty, I grab the shotgun, we roll around back, and we blast the whole fucking thing apart with the shotgun. Is that too much?
Sure, we'll do that.
I love it.
No. I think the smashing, I think it works. So we both go, all right, smash the fucking guitar. We race past Lexi, move fucking Chili out of the way, get to the back right as like the static people are pulling up, so there's only those 3 left again or whatever, but just completely fucking ignore them, shove out of the way, rip open the fucking trailer door, and like we both like jump in, grab the fucking guitar, and like I'm gonna like smash, and it's still like some left. You rip it out of my hands, smash, and like toss it on the ground. We both just kind of like stomp on the thing, and then like eventually like the body separates from the neck, and there's just this huge kind of like almost like an old tube TV kind of like turning off, kind of like white like kind of thing that just like the whole everything like comes back in, and it just like, and like all the static people are gone. Like, well, how I don't know where the loadout goes on this, but like that's my thought is like it's almost like the tube TV turns that white noise off and is
that's perfect. So we'll say like again in the visual we see the tube, like it does it into the guitar, but it includes like the frame of the air quotes movie, right? Like we are also getting sucked into this sort of blip. So loadout, the show is over and you're getting the fuck out, but you'll take what happened tonight with you for the rest of your life. Starting with the player who most recently went to a show and continuing clockwise, each player describes a 1 to 3 sentence scene in the future of your character coping with the aftermath of this time loop. When you do so, the other player retorts in a way that the threats, dangers, and forces that you experienced tonight rear their heads again in your future. So, which of you most recently went to a show?
Probably me.
yeah, it's been I couldn't even tell you last time I went to a show pre-COVID.
You know what's funny is I've barely gone to any shows in the past year. But I did go to a show in Dallas that was the 10-year anniversary tour for like a pretty good album. And I wore a World Champ Games shirt there, and the guy working the stand was like, "Oh, hey, that's a really cool World Champ shirt." And I was like, "Thank you." Actually, that might have been the last show I went to, man. I did not go to many shows this past year.
Wild.
Yeah. I went to that, and I went to the Me Without You farewell tour around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you give a little epilogue of what Marsh is like sometime after tonight.
Yeah, I think Marsh goes for the worst after this, you know? I think he like gains some weight and starts drinking some more and really abandons the whole Christianity thing. And I think he becomes a tattoo artist that does really mediocre tattoos. And all around is just a mediocre person. So because he's just like dealing with the trauma not well.
Ryan, how does tonight, like the loop night, rear its head in Marsh's kind of bleak future?
In Marsh's future?
Yeah, you're doing it basically to one another.
Oh, dope. I think that, well, he kind of just talked about how his life went to shit.
It wasn't great to begin with, but you make it worse.
I think the stat no, I think that I think he just realizes that he feels no joy in like concerts, and even gets to the point where like music just kind of like is like ash in his mouth. Like it just becomes whatever. One of those people that apparently doesn't like music because I guess they exist. And that's
Allegedly.
Awful. Yeah.
What is Johnny like sometime in the future after tonight?
I feel like I mean, I feel like I killed a man violently.
But did you?
But I didn't. Ted's alive. Here's the thing, and it sucks. I feel this like need to take care of Ted. I become like just that guy that like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you guys working in a hospital a lot, you see this bunch. It's just the friend, it's of the person who has no family who ends up feeling this obligation to take care of them too much. So like I bring him food, and I bring him to the hospital when he's sick, and this isn't like a good thing for me. Like it's complete out of obligation. I hate this guy, and every time I do it, I just want to kill him again, but like I can't. But like, and it just becomes a massive drain to the point where like I can't really, like, I'm not maintaining relationships and stuff because like having to take care of this guy like just burns me out constantly. Like I spend money on it that I really should be spending on something else. Like Every time he goes to the hospital, I hope it's the final time and he dies, but he fucking doesn't. But I feel this like obligation to like make sure this guy is like okay, and it's just a burden on my entire existence.
This is the best kind of horror movie where at the end, like things just don't get
Life
better.
sucks.
Like it's truly horrifying. You know, you're like, oh wow, this is awful.
Yeah. But Hunter, how is it worse? How is it
sometimes
thing
Ryan,
from tonight?
when Johnny, when you are dropping, what's his name again? Ted? Is that
Ted.
Yeah, Ted.
When you drop Ted off, he looks at you and opens his mouth to speak, and all you hear is static, and then you wake up the next day.
Perfectly gross and dismal.
Yeah.
So like I dream of Static and Ted, and basically I have PTSD, and that makes sense. And I relive nightmares of Staticky Ted. Dope. Cool. Great. Good times.
That's
No
no
future.
future.
Yeah. Woo.
A very bleak ending to what was a fun game, though, I'll say.
That was great. I had
so
a great
much
time.
fun.
That was awesome. So the time
yeah.
loop's interesting to actually like play out as a game. I mean, I think we're all so familiar with it. I mean, which I think is actually like a benefit to it, is we're all so familiar with it from pop culture that you can play into it.
The tropes are all ever present.
I think like we were saying from play, like I would love to add 2 or 3 more moves that are super leaning into that, like choosing to die and reset on your own terms, or making the rules of the movie sort of mechanized into the rules of the game a little bit. I think
Out of Bounds as an instant death, and like the just being like fuck it, like I'm out kind of thing as an instant death, it would not make you forced to try to figure out a rise aboves, which would like cut down on time. And I really think that's And
I really liked. I think there's a little bit of a tricky distinction between Doors and Where Eagles Dare, insofar as like you need the clues to get out. But I think I really like the sort of Brindlewood style. You guys come up with a theory and then you test that theory and then we see if it works or not, because it's, when you play a mystery game that has an answer that's written in a book and you're just trying to find it, it can get really frustrating and really lose its fun.
Absolutely.
I think this maintained its fun, especially because you get to theorize a little bit like in character and have like what Hunter was doing with the sort of religious baggage as flavoring the theories was really cool. So yeah, that was really fun. Thanks for having me, and thanks for playing this game.
Dude, thanks for coming on.
Seriously,
Always.
any time. Yeah.
What was our final body count?
17.
17's pretty good for a night.
That's admirable.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we killed off any static people in like the last 2 or whatever, but I feel like, we didn't kill Chili. I feel like, 17, because the last 2 was us and then we did it again. That was so much fun. And one of the things, like you said, is just like being able to theorize, like all of these clues just randomly came about, but in the end it like was able to be pieced together into a coherent story that actually made fucking sense. That was really dope.
I know I'm personally excited for the Silt versus RPG that has, I don't know if y'all listen to that podcast, but it's like my favorite fiction show right now. And there's some of that tech in there. So that's like
very cool.
Solving that kind of mystery in that way is going to be really fun. And I think, Brindlewood Bay has cool mysteries in it. A lot of the like Paranormal Inc., I think, is another one that's sort of Scooby Gang style, solve a mystery. Like that system of like you guys find the clues and then make it make sense is super cool. I'm about that. So
yeah, I really like that too.
I haven't got a chance to snag Brindlewood Bay. It's one of the ones where I was like, I have to save money somewhere, but fuck no, I'm gonna have to go get it. So
yeah.
But listen, this is part of your Trick or Treat Suite, which is still available on your website. So where can people get this game, the rest of your games, and all of your stuff?
You can get everything in print at worldchamp.io, including No Future, which we just played, the rest of the Trick or Treat Suite, which is actually pretty close to sold out right now. And then 1978 just started shipping today, my 2-player competitive slasher game. All of those in print at worldchamp.io. and worldchampgameco.itch.io for the digital stuff.
Seriously,
Awesome.
Snag all of it. So good. All the games are fantastic. This one I was really excited to play. Most we ever died on stream. I don't think we're gonna die 17 times in anything else. So good time.
I challenge other game designers, make a game where you can kill them 18 times and then
there you go.
Stream it.
Come on, guys. Yeah. So grab everything from Adam. Hopefully, Adam, come on anytime you want. I think we're always down. We've never been shy that this is an Adam Vass Dan podcast. So happy to play test, whatever. Just really appreciate all your games. And everyone out there listening, you can find all of our stuff at where you can normally find our stuff. That is our link tree for the weekly scroll. You can get everything there. And that's it. That's our episode for the evening. Adam, again, thank you so much. Hunter, I'll talk to you later. And everyone out there, have a wonderful night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.